connected. First pitch in the show. Baez homers. Look at that Cardinal dugout. Swing and a drive down the line. Did he do it again? That ball is gone. He's got 2 homers. Swing, drive, well hit right. Suzuki back. It is gone. It is gone. It is gone. 3 homers for Baez. Major League history at Wrigley Field.
That's what it sounded like on Cardinals TV over the weekend as Joshua Baez inserts himself into the history of Major League Baseball in his debut. Not 1, not 2, but 3 straight homers to begin his Cardinals career. Had 30-plus friends and family in attendance for that game. Did so at Wrigley Field. A historic day at a historic ballpark as part of a historic rivalry. There are not many, Alex. I remember when, or I remember where I was when blank happened. That's one of those. Yep. You will forever remember where you were either when somebody texted you that he hit 3 home runs to begin his major league career, or as you were sat in front of a television, or as I was, at Two Plumbers Brewery in St. Charles while Luca was playing pinball with my sister, and I was watching on my phone.
Like, let's hope you have a good spot where you'll remember that.
I will never forget what we witnessed over the weekend because it is truly a historic moment for the St. Louis Cardinals. What did we learn? What did you think of what we witnessed over the weekend, Alex?
I don't know what we learned, but I could tell you what I witnessed, and it was pure excitement. Where was I? I was in my backyard cutting grass. Like, I'm in the middle of cutting, and I stopped because I was listening, and, of course, Baez steps to the plate, and I'm like, okay, well, I got to watch this. I want to see what it looks like. I'll be honest with everyone. I assumed a strikeout was going to happen because it's the first at-bat, and you're going up against Matthew Boyd, and I'm thinking, it's like, all right, well, let's see how this turns out. And the fact that it was on the first pitch, I mean, pure adrenaline rush from me to where it was like, oh, my God, I can't believe he just did that. The second time, I'm still outside cutting the grass, and it happened again. And I'm like, you got to be bleeping kidding me. And when the third one happened, I reacted the same way I reacted when Jordan Walker won that home run derby. I mean, it was jumping up and down, and I'm like, I can't freaking believe it. I called Katie over to look at it, Adelaide over to look at it, and I was trying to explain it to him. I mean, think of the sentence you said, BK. Major League Baseball history.
It's never happened before.
Some guys spend 15-plus years playing in the majors, trying to get to Cooperstown, to put the stats together. This dude just stepped into the Wrigley Field in his first game and gets cleats sent to Wrigley Field. So
that aren't even his, by the way.
Sent to Cooperstown.
Yeah, they're not even his.
Yeah, didn't have
teammates.
his cleats, didn't have his gloves.
His belt.
Everything was from somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
amazing.
It's one of those things that you honestly in the moment can't believe it's happening. Like, is this a dream? And then the more that game went on, the more you have to remind yourself, oh my God, we have been super excited for this prospect as Cardinals fans for what? 2 years now, just seeing him come through the system. And how many times as Cardinals fans have we heard the hype for a prospect, and then you get to it and it's like, okay, a little bit of a letdown. This one, regardless of what he did the next day, which we saw the other side of it with Joshua Baez, that was one of those moments that you were like, okay, I'm all on board with this rebuild because that's the excitement you won.
So one of the things that we've talked about in recent years is how the Cardinals don't have what I like to call loud prospects. They don't have enough of them, where you watch them and immediately you can see it. Like, you can see something. There's a tool. There's a skill set that just jumps off the screen, right? Where it's just different. And you don't have to be a baseball fan. You don't have to be a baseball analyst to understand, oh, that's different. Joshua Baez has that. Joshua Baez's power is something where you can just be the most casual of baseball observers. You're watching the game on your TV and you go, whoa, that's different. Mm-hmm. Jordan Walker has that, where he looks, feels, and hits the ball different than other guys across the league, right? You look at now Victor Scott, it hasn't translated as well to the major league level, but his speed is different than other guys around the league. You look at Liam Doyle with the fastball coming through the system right now. That is different. It plays, looks, and feels different than other pitchers across the minor leagues. You look at what Luis Gastelum has with his changeup. And by the way, he's been much better lately, guys. it's different, and you don't have to be an expert to see it. You don't have to go to Baseball Savant to figure out, oh, okay, yeah, he hits the ball really hard. He throws a really weird changeup, these kinds of things. This is what the Cardinals have been adding to their system in recent years. They have been targeting these kinds of traits that you get to the major league level and you can dream on them. They feel different than when you've got a bunch of dudes, and this is not a criticism so much as a just reality of where they were, when you've got a bunch of guys that are more Tommy Edmonds of the world coming through your system. Good players, but eventually you're going to need some dudes. You're going to need some guys that can come up here and be real difference makers. They haven't had enough of that over the years. You have a guy right now in Joshua Baez that can be your Teoscar Hernandez. You have a guy in Joshua Baez that can add the right-handed thump to the lineup that goes in that transition period into your lineup of 5, 6, 7, somewhere there when you're really good again, hopefully. That's what we witnessed over the weekend. Now, you also saw the downside. On Sunday, he followed it up with multiple strikeouts in the game with an offer. That's going to be part of his profile. Yep. He's going to strike out a lot. He's going to swing and miss a lot. And he's going to hit some bombs. And you take one as long as you get the other. What became the issue with a guy like Nolan Gorman, he had some of that pop from the left side, but it was outweighed by the swing and miss to where he couldn't access that power long enough or often enough. And for Joshua Baez, that's going to be the hope for the staying power. But for one day,
hey, man.
Oh, my God, it allowed you to dream.
Hey, he's got a 344 OPS plus. Who's on board with it now?
Oh, yeah.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah. BK contract extension?
Yeah, 10 by 10.
Come on.
There's a contract extension I'm willing to hand out over the weekend, but it ain't a hit.
4 by 40 for this guy who says no.
Alec we'll get to this more later. Alec Burleson is absolutely ridiculous what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
He's been awesome.
Everything about Baez in that game, man. And again, I know it's 2 games, but it's the process you go through with a rebuild. You hope when you enter the buzzword of rebuild that in 5 years, maybe you find something like this. And again, strikes out 3 times the next day, 3 home runs in 1 game. You get both sides of the spectrum here. But for a guy like Baez, where we have been talking so much about getting the guy up, I mean, we ended the show on Friday, and we were like, well, we're probably going to have to wait a week to see him.
I thought it was going to be September before you
get called up Saturday, and then you step into the game that moment. Again, it's not going to continue that way the rest of his career. He's not going to automatically become a Hall of Famer, but you've got more pop in your lineup now to add to what was already 4 guys you're relying on, and now a Baez who has the ability to make contact and change the outcome of the game with just 1 swing.
I would add this. When I see a guy like Joshua Baez make his debut, look the way that he did, and really this goes back to what he's done in the minor leagues. He's been great so far in the minor leagues this season overall. Now, 136 strikeouts on 100 games. There's that.
They have to point that out.
That's real. But
come on, man.
It makes me wonder if you had this development system, this pipeline, this group of coaches, these people in charge, where you've got Serfolio and Day and all of the people that have been added to the system over the last calendar year. I wonder if Gorman's career would have gone differently. I wonder if Tyler O'Neill's career here in St. Louis would have been a little different, if they would have been able to capture more of their natural God-given abilities. I wonder if some of the power hitting potential that they've had in their system, they would have been able to get more out of it. Because you look back, man, 2 years ago, Baez was not this. He struggled early on in his Cardinals career where it just didn't take off to the same degree. And then a couple of years ago, as they started to incorporate some of these guys into their system, their minor league pipeline, and I'm talking, when I say guys, the people in charge of it, the coaches, the analysts, the data consultants, all of these different people, they sent him down to the Florida Complex League. They overhauled his swing. There was a great piece over in The Athletic earlier today on this, including Katie Wu, some of her reporting. And they had to completely change the way that he went about things. And once that happened, boom, it all took off from there. And suddenly he became the prospect that we've known him to be this season. So I do wonder if that's part of what we're witnessing is just, this is the new reality of the Cardinals minor league system. It's going to produce guys like Joshua Baez and the fully formed version of Alec Burleson and whatever Ty Pete becomes and Rainiel Rodriguez. And it's exciting, man. This is what allows me to dream not only on what the Cardinals are, but what the Cardinals can become for years under Chaim Bloom's leadership.
It's a weird thing to ask, but does it make you a little bit more patient with Nolan Gorman and what they're working with him on in the minors?
Yeah, he's done.
Is it?
He's done. I'm out on Gorman. I think he's already failed.
I'm with you as well. Like, that's where I'm at. But
kind of.
If Chaim and Rob Serfolio were to say at the end of this season, look, with Nolan Gorman, we feel like we made progress. I know a lot of people are down on it, but give it a second. We'll see what it looks like next year.
Yeah, I think they are starting to, and we'll get into this more later. I think they're starting to earn the benefit of that out in that regard.
And that's where I'm at. Is like I'm in T-Bone's camp that says, nope, done with it. It's not going to work.
And I don't blame you for that, by the way.
But if they were to tell me, hey, we think there's still something there, they are earning the benefit of doubt right now when it comes to any of their players in their system.
Because I'll give them credit. They ain't selling you on Cesar Prieto.
No.
They're not telling you
they
it's
tried
something
for
different.
a week there.
They're not selling you on Victor Scott.
No. They haven't said, hey, we need to get this guy back up. I've heard zero buzz about Victor Scott. Zero.
Somebody texted that on Friday saying, are we just done with Victor Scott? Yeah, I don't hear about him anymore.
For right now. Maybe 6 months from now, it looks different. But for today, yeah, no, man. Nathan Church is your starting center fielder against righties. And I think you're going to see a little bit more of Pereira against lefties, and maybe eventually Jose Fermin gets some opportunities out there. But for the time being, yeah, no, I'm good. Nolan Gorman in his last 23 games, this is 100 plate appearances, has a 240 240 average. Okay, no. 370 on base percentage and a 580 slug. He has 9 home runs in his last 23 games. Yeah, that's something that I find to be semi-interesting, considering we saw the same kind of production out of Joshua Baez, and every single one of us wanted him to come up. Now, that doesn't mean it'll translate, and it doesn't mean it's real, and it might be a completely fraudulent 28-day stretch. Or it's real, it's something to believe in, and they've got another one of these bashers that can go, I don't know, bat 7th in your lineup. But for right now, I don't need to see him. If they called him up, tomorrow, 2 days from now, whenever they start seeing another stretch of righties, yeah, I'd be like, okay, let's see what it looks like.
Yeah, they've changed my entire opinion on their development system now because of what we've been seeing for guys that get called up and get their opportunity at the major leagues. And if they get sent down to work on something, I just truly feel like, man, they'll figure it out at some point. And that's where they're at right now, which is wild to say because I was the polar opposite about a year ago with this team.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll dive into some NFL quick hitters. But next, I do want to hear what the Cubs booth sounded like over the weekend, Alex, as they called the 3 home runs, not 1, not 2, but 3, ridiculous, 3 home runs in Joshua Baez's debut. We'll get into that coming up on the other side here on BK and Ferrario. All right, Alex, one of my favorite things to do is to hear the opposing view when something great happens here in St. Louis.
I've been in the office with you, and you get mad when nobody on the other side is yelling about the Cardinals.
I just want to hear tears or screams.
Oh, yes. Let me taste those tears.
Let me feel your emotion.
That's how I am 24/7, man. I just want to see people upset. I like it.
My honest to God view is like I enjoy seeing the joy, the jubilation, the happiness of, Brad Thompson or Chip Carey when they're on the call. For Saturday, I was glad that they got that call on Saturday when Joshua Baez hits the 3 home runs in his debut. And I like hearing the sadness, the frustration, the anger that comes from Chicago when something like that happens.
That's a rivalry.
So let's go ahead and take a listen. This is the Chicago Cubs television network on Saturday as Joshua Baez hits all 3 home runs.
High fly ball, center field. PCA turning, looking, and it's gone. Joshua Baez, his first major league at bat, and he hits a 2-run homer. 449 feet. Left field, hat turning and looking, and it's gone. And Baez has done it again. Homering in his first 2 major league plate appearances. Fly ball right field. Suzuki's back, and it's gone. 3 homers in his first 3 major league at bats. Unbelievable.
He ought to just retire right now. My work is done here. This is just amazing what this kid has done.
You know what I loved about it?
I would retire too, by the way. I'd be like, all right, I'm out, guys. Hall of Fame, we're good.
He records an out on a line drive to, I think it was left field, in his 4th plate appearance of the day, rather. And Cubs fans all stand up and give him a standing ovation.
That was for me where it was like, oh, okay, you should take all of this in because this doesn't happen.
Game recognized game, man.
Yep.
When you have something like that and you're at the ballpark, it's kind of what T-Bone was saying the other day when we were there and he was excited about the combined no-hitter, which would have been ridiculous and nobody would have cared about it.
It's still a no freaking hitter, man.
That is one of those things that you look at and you just appreciate that you were in attendance for. If you were somebody, even if you're a Cubs fan, that was there for that game on Saturday, you'll never forget that experience at the ballpark. You never know what you're going to see when you go to a baseball game. It's one of the things that I love about it. If you go to watch a movie, if you go to watch Broadway, like you kind of have an idea of what you're going to get, right? You know what the script is, at least, for that given day. When you go to that game on Saturday, you have no idea what's going to happen. And when that happens, something that has never previously taken place on a major league field, it's special. And everybody in attendance recognized it.
Yeah. And like we're accustomed to it as Cardinals fans because Cardinals fans, and it's why people hate the name best fans in baseball, they recognize any types of historical moments, whether it's on the opposition or their own team, they're applauding it. But for me, when it happened at Wrigley, I mean, with Cubs fans at Wrigley Field on a Friday afternoon and a Saturday afternoon, when those things are happening, regardless if it's historical, typically they're not going to celebrate the Cardinals in a rivalry. But the fact that people were standing up and seeing a historical moment for a guy like Joshua Baez, it may not mean a whole lot now, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, wherever your career takes you, you see what this rivalry becomes, you see where baseball is at, and you see how it was talking about it. You do take it in a little bit differently than where you're at right now as a rookie. And part of it is why that one was so masterful, because it wasn't a big deal to him. You know, like if this was an 8-year vet, I think maybe we're talking a little bit differently. But the fact that this guy's a rookie and you're doing this and it's not even as big of a moment as you think it is, that's the part that I feel like makes it so magical.
All right, so you know who wasn't happy about it? So Cubs fans in attendance gave him his proper due.
The broadcast booth sounded fine, man, so you must have been upset.
M-Bone, not T-Bone, M-Bone.
T-Bone, somebody's stealing your stuff, man.
Was not happy with what he saw over the weekend. Here is him as he's on his streaming platform.
97th pitch here is going to be a f***ing home run. And he's still in the game, giving up home runs. Craig, get him out!
I can also say that, too. I was wondering, after the second home run, like, how do you keep sticking with Boyd in this spot?
I was pretty shocked he was there for the third one.
I mean, that was almost as bad as Tatis giving up, or Tatis hitting 2 grand slams in one game against the same pitcher. Like, what's going on here?
I would say this. 97 pitches, like everything about it felt kind of strange. It speaks to how bad their bullpen is. That, hey, he felt as though his best chance to continue to stay in this game was with Matthew Boyd for the third time, seeing the hitter who hit a home run on him the previous 2 times he was up as a left-handed pitcher going up against a right-handed power bat who has ridiculous numbers this year against lefties. It just wasn't. I didn't understand that decision, but whatever.
Remember when we were all talking about how like incredible of a manager Craig Counsell is? Like that was one of those moments where I was like, what's going on here, Craig?
You want to hear David Kaplan's reaction?
Oh God, yes. The
listen.
noted Cards hater.
But I want to shout out the Wrigley Field crowd. They gave him a standing ovation. And I think that's so cool. Because we don't like the Cardinals doesn't mean you can't applaud somebody for having an amazing, amazing game. I thought that was awesome. Reminded me that when Michael Busch was 1 hit away from the cycle, the St. Louis Cardinals intentionally walked him in a blowout game.
People are big.
In a game that meant nothing. And that tells me all I need to know. Best fans in baseball. My ass. They don't even fill their park anymore, and their team's in the race for the wild card.
Hey.
We don't really prioritize winning, so we're going to stay away.
Damn, man.
Yeah, and Cubs fans, we always pack the park. So find a way today to win the series.
Well,
No,
you
they
didn't. Yeah, you lost. Justin
That sucks, doesn't it, Kaplan?
The
Justin
Cards
Turner
aren't
was
even
big mad.
prioritizing winning. They won the season series.
Yeah.
I mean,
Suck it, Kaplan.
Justin Turner wasn't too happy about that either. He was on
he was tweeting
Twitter
yesterday.
tweeting about it.
Twitter tough guy.
I
Justin
guess he was.
Turner. He also thinks that Mason Wynn can't throw her to first. So
I guess he was a healthy scratch from his major league team that he was a part of.
yeah.
No, he's not on a major league team.
Playing in Mexico, though.
So he
That guy has a lot of thoughts on the Cardinals for somebody that really wasn't a significant part of this rivalry.
That's true. Yeah.
He was here for 80 games.
Yeah.
And somehow he's the guy that really seems to love tuning in and chiming in on these kinds of things. You want to hear Buster Olney's reaction to Baez's debut?
I would imagine it's the polar opposite of Kaplan.
Yeah, he was pretty happy about it. Take a listen.
Is this the best debut ever? I mean, Gary, how can it be better? Like the first pitch you see, you hit for a 449-foot home run. You wind up with 3 home runs. I texted Ollie Marmol, the manager of the Cardinals, right after the game and said, what's the mental snapshot you're going to take away? And he said after the first home run, seeing Baez come back into the dugout and the smirk on his face, he said, man, this kid loves to compete.
That was, I mean, his smile around it. And I think after the third one, he looked at the dugout and went like this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, frame that one right now.
He's got some swagger.
Yep.
Or as Ollie Marmol said, some FU to him.
So that's what swagger means.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this team, they're fun.
They're finally decently good, and they've got some personality.
Yeah.
Unlike the last time when it was like, hey, look, great team 2022, no swagger.
No.
No.
Very boring.
Goldie was just, I'm going to do my thing. Arenado had a little bit of that to him.
Pujols, there was no swagger at that point because he was ready to retire.
Yeah, nearly retired midway
Ollie
through the
had the
year.
most swagger on that team.
Ollie had some swagger that year.
Yeah,
when he
but I don't
pinched
know,
it-
like a rookie manager
When he
can have
pinched
it.
Pujols in the third inning, I'm like, oh, okay, there's that FU that you're
Rockies
talking
game,
about.
right?
Yeah,
Oh,
against Gomber.
We've got a Hulk.
Yeah.
We've got a Hulk. I love it
was a
too
great moment.
when Cubs fans get angry and the first thing they resort to on social media is, well, at least we're in the playoffs. I don't think Cardinals fans care about that right now.
No, man,
They
I'm
just
happy
want
with
good
the
players. Yeah, they just want good players.
Yeah.
We'll
And
talk playoffs in a couple of years.
Cubs already did this.
Yeah.
They did this from like 2013 to 2015. Like that era was the Cubs doing what the Cardinals are doing right now, where they built their core that ultimately won them one title, which was disappointing. That was not supposed to be the plan. They won one title with Chris Bryant, Kyle Schwarber, who they allowed to walk, non-tendered him. I don't know if you guys have seen. He's doing pretty decent things right now. And
helped that
they
lineup.
broke up the core. And they never won again after 2016. And it required a rain delay and Jason Hayward giving the most expensive speech ever for them to be able to get that. So, yeah, it all worked out, I suppose, but one title is ultimately what it amounted to. The Cardinals are trying to get to that place. That's the plan right now.
This rivalry is about to be so much fun. Get your popcorn ready. Like moving forward in the next couple of years. And T-Bone and I were talking about this on Friday. I think it was the first series that they played against each other. This was before Pete Crow Armstrong went off this season. And we were talking about, like, does it feel like the rivalry that it used to feel like? Of course, everybody always says Cards-Cubs is one of the best rivalries, but it never really felt that way because one was good and the other one wasn't. You're about to see those two stars align at the same time in the next couple of years. You think if everything goes accordingly for the Cubs, get your popcorn ready.
Both sides have fireworks to them. You know, like PCAs, we talked about him when he hit the home run into the Tarps Off crew here in St. Louis. I mean, he's got the punchable face, and, like, he's a guy I'd love on the team. Like, if he was our center fielder, I'd love him.
Yeah,
he's not our center fielder, so I hate that guy. And then the Cardinals with their guys, like, they've got some swagger to them as well. If Baez continues to play well, he'll have a little bit of that FU mentality, as Ali said, towards them.
I think Burleson would also be a super annoying player to have on the opposing side. And he also had the quote yesterday. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He said, as you get to the end of the game, the bleachers are half empty. It's kind of sweet.
Yeah,
I liked it.
And he has his think back to opening day when he hit that bomb against Tampa Bay, and he turns to the dugout and does the big flex. Like, he's willing to kind of showboat a couple of moments as well. Now, he didn't do it yesterday on his home run, but he's got a little bit of that to him as well.
It's got to be annoying too, because he's just like this. Not to use the pun, but like this big burly guy. And he's swinging.
That's why they call him burly.
Yeah, he's swinging at everything. You look at his chase rate, like anything outside of the zone, he swings at. He's a bit of a free swinger, but he hits everything, and it just goes really far. He hits the crap out of the baseball, and it doesn't feel as though he should be as good as he actually is, but he's a great baseball player. He's really good defensively over there at first. Mason Wynn would be annoying as hell with the cannon of the arm at shortstop for them. I mean, just... And now J.J. Weatherholt, who just does everything right, just gets on base all the time, is a great defender outside of one play over the weekend. They're a pretty annoying team if you're an opposing fan right now. They've got this Joshua Baez cat who can apparently hit 3 home runs in his debut.
And if Liam Doyle is successful like we all think he's going to be, that dude is going to piss a lot of people off for what he does on the mound when he strikes people out.
This is supposed to be when the Cardinals pitching's bad. And the rotation's 10th best in Major League Baseball going into the weekend.
Games.
Like, think of that for a moment, and then you start to look down in their minor league system, and you go, you mentioned Doyle, Tanner Franklin, Sainja, who's a Clark throwing 100 miles an hour from the left side. Like, this is supposed to be the weakest that the pitching's at, and here comes his way.
They were in a terrible spot. They just fired their GM. They traded all of their good players away.
This isn't a rebuild.
Wilson Contreras signed with them to go, have whatever this next stage is going to be in his career because they believed in him as a catcher when nobody else did. That was supposed to be a disaster. They get rid of all of the good players that we knew, and now they're better? What? How does that make any sense?
This isn't fair.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Is this what it feels like to be Milwaukee?
Yeah, right. I would imagine, except hopefully a little more postseason success because they suck
and hopefully keeping all our best players.
You guys doing any scoreboard watching right now?
Not to the extent you'd think. I told you in the office, like, to me, it's kind of the organic scoreboard watching to where, like, I didn't even check it after every one of these games. I checked it this morning to see where you were at after you beat the Cubs in that series, and it's like, oh, you're still 3.5 out. Like, it's not one of those where I'm getting frustrated after every game because they're not gaining any ground and thinking, you screwed it up in the earlier months when you weren't winning those games. It's one of those where it's like I'm having so much fun now that if they get in, awesome. If not, I'm still going to be sitting here tooting the horn of the Cardinals of what next year is going to look like.
It wasn't until yesterday that I did.
I agree. That was the same thing for me.
Going in, I talked to Alex about this. I don't know if we said it on air, but I talked to him about it in the office for sure, about going into this weekend, even though we were kind of saying it was a big series.
I didn't mean to do that. There was so much more in there that I didn't realize that happened. I'm sorry.
You have the talk button again. We've been through this.
I'm not going to hit the cough button while I'm drinking.
Anyways, that's what it's there for.
No, it's for coughing.
So going into this weekend series against the Cubs, like, I know we were kind of saying it was big. I never felt like it was big. It wasn't until they took 2 of 3 where I said, wow, the offense is back to being itself from the beginning of the year where everybody is starting to slug again. The pitching's been good, and they just beat their rival. They just beat Philadelphia, 2 like good teams. Even if like Philly doesn't make the playoffs, they're still a good baseball team. That was the moment this weekend when they won on Sunday where I said, okay, it's time for me to actually lock back in and check on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, they're 3.5 games back right now. Now, they've got a couple of teams between them and the playoffs, so it's not an easy path. And as of today, you shouldn't expect them to make it to the playoffs, but you've got 5 games in 4 days against the Cincinnati Reds. They're not very good. And today you've got Joshua Baez batting leadoff against a lefty opener, which is a fun little wrinkle to the lineup. Then you go out to the bank. You have a 3-game series head-to-head against Philadelphia. Dude, if you win 3 or 4 of these next 5 games against Cincy, that's going to be a massive series over the weekend against the Philadelphia Phillies. And then the schedule opens up a little bit after that. Yes, you have a 3-game series in here against the Dodgers. I'm not completely setting that aside, although you might be getting them at the right time. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Colorado, San Fran, the White Sox, San Fran, Washington, Pittsburgh. That's a lot of mediocre to bad baseball teams that you're about to go up against. Now, ultimately, this is about the Cardinals every bit as much, if not more so, than it is these other teams. But it can get real pretty quickly if this team is able to continue to take care of business. And that's what it is right now. You're better than Cincinnati. Take care of business. Win at least 3 of your next 5. That's all you got to do. Keep racking up the series victories. If you do that, get to the end of the season, you're going to feel pretty good about where you're at, even if you are a little bit on the outside looking in. Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. By the way, our text line, 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line to get involved in the show. We've got questions and answers coming up here in about 15 minutes. You can always check us out on YouTube as well at youtube.com/101ESPNSTL. Coming up next, we're going to dive into some NFL quick hitters, including a local kid who might have been in the game a little too long in his preseason debut. We'll tell you about it next here on 101 ESPN. Hey, it's BK for my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Check them out today online at victorymenshealth.com. They can tell you all about the services that they have to offer. There are a lot of them. I get choked up just thinking about it. They've got low testosterone services. They can get you back to feeling like your younger self. They can also help you out with weight loss goals that you're trying to meet, sexual health. Maybe it's a supplement shop that would help you out more. That's what I use each and every month. I actually talked with Victory Men's Health recently about changing what I need from them to personalize my plan once again. You can check them out. Do that for you as well over at victorymenshealth.com. It's an incredibly easy process. You're going to be thankful that you did. Go to victorymenshealth.com. Book that first appointment online today. All it takes is your name, email, phone number. Tell them BK with 101 ESPN sent you, and then tell them what it means for you to unlock your inner champion. That initial visit will include a consultation with a licensed medical provider. They'll go through all your different lab work with you, and then they'll find out what it means for you to unlock your inner champion. Do it today at Victory Men's Health and online at victorymenshealth.com.
Tanner Hendrickson here with a Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Cardinals blew out the Cubs yesterday 11-4 as they take 2 of 3 from Chicago. Today they start a 5-game set at Cincinnati as they've got a doubleheader today. 12:40 first pitch for Game 1. Quinn Matthews will start Game 1 for St. Louis. And Game 2 will be at 5:40 tonight with Andre Palante on the mound. The Sports Center update was brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
Pretty good debut for Jeremiah Love, Alex. 11 carries, 58 yards, another 3 receptions for 14 yards. The local St. Louis native, CBC graduate, eventually Notre Dame star, had his first opportunity to be on the big stage with the Arizona Cardinals.
Your excitement just kept dwindling there as you talked.
It unfortunately came to an end due to an injury, a high ankle sprain. And some are none too pleased. I would imagine some of these are individuals that have him in fantasy football. Others are Cardinals fans. LaFleur, their new head coach, decided to keep him in the game longer than they would have otherwise liked. He was in there until late in the first half. Now, he's a rookie. He's their first-round selection. He's got to get some opportunities to play with the starters. However, he's going up against primarily backups against the Raiders who are trying to make a name for themselves, trying to play their asses off as they get an opportunity to latch onto the roster, especially as you get further and further into the first half. Was this a mistake? Was this an issue of the Cardinals leaving Jeremiah Love in too long, or is this just football and sometimes stuff happens and it's an unfortunate accident?
I think it was a mistake. I think in the first preseason game, if you want to get a taste of what it is, and I understand he's kind of, even though he's the top pick by the Cardinals and they've got a depth chart and he's probably going to be the number one on that, you don't go that deep into a game when you're seeing those backups in preseason. You get a taste of it and you gradually grow it throughout preseason, I would imagine. So it is football. Injuries are going to happen, and it doesn't matter if you kept him in long or it could have been the next snap he would have played in preseason game number 2. I still think you try and limit the amount of time that guy's seeing the field so you don't get injured before the season begins.
Yeah, I think this was just football. I don't have a major issue with the Cardinals playing him this deep into the game because, one, I don't know that he is going to be their true number one back. They've got 3 really good backs on that roster in Algier and James Conner. So I think this was them getting him a bunch of reps. I mean, I think this told you that they don't view him as the number one running back, the fact that he played this long. So I think this was just football. It's a shame that it happened, but I think you have to get him reps if you're not sure he's going to be your number one.
This is football, man. It sucks. I feel awful for the kid because there's a good chance with this kind of an injury, he ain't right for at least a month in the regular season. Now, he'll probably play, but it's going to take a while for him to get back to 100%. And some guys, the year that they have the high ankle sprain, it never feels 100% right until they're able to actually get off of it. And then the next year, they look more like themselves. So, like, my fantasy football advice off of this, I'm not touching Jeremiah Love this year. Not where he's going to ultimately go in the first, second round, that kind of range in the draft. I'm good. I've got other options that I would rather have where he's ultimately going to be going. It's a crowded backfield on a team that's not going to score a ton of points, and now he's got a high ankle sprain. I'm out. I wish nothing but the best for the kid. I feel awful about this, but he's in a crowded backfield where he needs to get the work early in the preseason. I don't blame the coach for leaving him in. I know it's the unpopular thing to do right now is to play your guys in the preseason. I still am a little bit old school. It's one of the very few things that I'm old school about. Man, you get better by play. You get better at football by playing football. And in order to get better and ready for the start of the regular season, you got to go out there and do it. This could have easily happened in training camp. It did happen in a preseason game. It sucks, but that's the reality. Before we get out of here and get into some questions and answers on the other side, you guys see NFL future power rankings over on ESPN.com today?
I saw the list was out.
This is how they're projecting for the 2027 campaign through the 2029 campaign. So not 26, but starting in 2027 for the next 3 seasons, Alex.
Because football notoriously known for 3-year windows.
Yeah, because we all know what the draft's going to look like in the next couple of years.
Who do you think comes in at number 1 overall? 3-year window after the upcoming season. Best team setup. This is based upon their overall roster construction outside of the quarterback. And then they go one for the quarterback, coaching, and then front office. Those are the 4 criteria.
My guess is either the Patriots or the Bears.
No and no.
That was I've
Patriots
seen the list.
came in at number 6. Bears came in at, number 12, man.
Ben
Which
Johnson
feels
needs to
kinda
chill
low.
out.
Because I saw the list, so I know who
marks for
number
the
1
coaching,
is.
but everything else is right around 10 to 20.
Yeah, which didn't feel right to me, to be honest with you, because I would think Bears and Patriots were going to be there on my list because they have the best advantage in football, the rookie quarterback contract.
They won at that point, though.
Yeah, and he said
That's fair, but like for another year or two, they've still got
And he
that.
said
So that
with
takes
the
up
exception of
2
the
of my
quarterback,
3
too.
years in this window.
Is it Seattle?
Seattle's number 1.
That was the other one that I thought of.
Yep, Seattle number 1. They have the best roster according to this metric in the NFL outside of the quarterback position.
But isn't that
middle of
roster
the
gonna
pack
be
at quarterback?
expensive?
It will eventually, yeah. 3rd best coaching, 2nd best front office. So that's what they've got. Number 2, the Philadelphia Eagles, who just keep doing it.
Yeah, the BS on that. I'd take the Patriots over the Philadelphia Eagles in 3-year any day of the week.
This is the one that I think is crazy. The Detroit Lions at number 3 overall. I think we just saw their window.
Yeah, I agree.
They're going to get worse, not better. Number 4.
And real quick on the Lions,
Please.
they haven't had a defense when they had that window. Like they have Hutchinson, and that's about it.
Number 4, the Denver Broncos. That one I can get.
No, they got Bo Nix as their quarterback. No, I don't get that one.
I could get how you could put them high on the
I would
list.
take the Bears over the Broncos.
The thing with the Broncos, though, I think I said this earlier this year. Who's their number 1 receiver? Like to me, they don't have a dude at wide receiver.
They don't have a quarterback.
They've got some good dudes.
Fair,
They've got some
but
good guys.
If
though.
you had Bo Nix, I agree with you, right?
He said
Average
it wrong.
quarterback.
Bo Picks.
So is Sam Darnold, but he had a dude at wide receiver in JSN.
Maybe Jalen Waddle can become that in a better system for him. You know, I
If he
agree.
can stay healthy.
But prior to last year, we would not have said that about JSN either. And then suddenly it all came together in the right system that was able to take advantage of his skill set. Maybe this becomes that for him.
So far, the 2 through 4 are jokes, and I'd have the Patriots above all of those teams.
Number 5, the LA Rams. I just don't know how you can do that when you legitimately don't know if their quarterback's going to be
Haven't you heard?
good.
We have a backup plan for that.
He looked great over the
did
weekend,
look
by the
good.
way.
Haven't
you
Ty
heard they also
Simpson
have
was
Hulk?
awesome. Now, he was going against, 3rd and 4th string guys because he's apparently the number 3 guy on their depth chart right now.
We're slowly
But
progressing.
He
What
looked
a pick.
fantastic. He looks the way that he did against Mizzou last year, which is to be expected because some guys on Mizzou are better than the guys that he saw in that game.
Wow.
Number 6, the New England Patriots.
Yeah, that's the Rams. I'm all on board with because I think they get bumped up because of how good their coach is, and they got a damn good roster. They've got their dude in Puka. If you're taking the quarterback out, 2 through 4 is a joke, and I'd have the Patriots above all of them.
Alex is going to be so mad at the next one. Number 7, and we're going through the list on ESPN.com of teams set up the best for 2027 to 2029.
I don't even know where you could go with it. Is it the Packers?
Number 7 on the list, the Green Bay Packers.
Get the hell out of here! This list sucks.
Number
What a
8,
joke.
Feels high.
Number 8, the Houston Texans.
I can see how that
yeah,
one.
that one
Number
should be
9,
higher.
the Baltimore Ravens, who literally, it's just Lamar.
Yeah, I don't
and they
know
said
about
with
that
the
one.
exception of the quarterback.
Well, there is a quarterback ranking. There's overall roster, not including quarterback, and then quarterback,
Overall roster,
coaching, and front office.
Ass. You can't really say overall roster for the Ravens and act like it's good. Same with the Packers.
Chargers at number 10.
I can see that one. That one I can kind of believe.
I feel like they're getting older, though.
Chiefs at number 11. Bears at number
put them
12.
lower.
I'd have the Bears higher than. I think I'd still have the Patriots and Bears as 2, 3
I
on
only
this.
looked at the top 10. Who was at the bottom? I didn't
I
look
was
at the
about
bottom
to
of
ask,
this.
who do you think is number 32? Because somebody on the YouTube chat made mention of this. I'll talk about that here.
The
just a minute.
Buccaneers?
No.
Miami?
Yeah. They're number 31.
The Jets, are they 32?
Jets
roster's
Browns.
are number 29. Browns are 28.
Steelers?
Steelers are 30.
Okay.
Oh, wow. If they're not 32.
Jaguars?
We've talked about this team in this segment.
We have?
It was our lead for the segment.
Oh, the Cardinals?
Yep. Cardinals are at 32.
I can get that. That makes sense.
Yeah, because they keep their running back in the game too long in preseason.
Eric over on YouTube. Cardinals won't score a lot of points. They have tons of offensive talent. Nah, man.
You know who their quarterback is, right?
They've got tons of receiver talent. They have Marvin Harrison Jr., who we don't know if he's good in the NFL yet.
Hey,
Michael Wilson, who I do think is pretty solid. Trey McBride, who's a top 3 to 5 tight end in the league, and Jeremiah Love, who I think is wildly talented. It's like that stuff really good. Unfortunately, they don't have an offensive line or a quarterback, and we have no idea if their coach is any good.
Their defense was
abysmal
awful last
Their
year.
quarterback is notorious for getting his team a number 1 overall pick. So, like,
Also
it's
true.
Not where I want to go with this one.
Other than that, though,
How was the play?
They did have the New Orleans Saints at 21. That feels low to me.
No, that feels too high.
Bucks at 19.
I don't know what this hype with Tyler
is this like
Shuck
the whole
is.
AFC South is in this
Cowboys
range?
are at 16. That's too low. Cowboys have a really good roster.
Yeah, but this was 3 years from now.
Yeah, I think they're still going to have a really good
I don't
roster.
know if Dak's going to
Very
be
good
any good in
offensive
3
line.
years.
I just don't know about Pickens because they don't have him locked up, right?
I think their defense is going to be good this year. I think Cowboys
Really?
are a legit contender in the NFC. That's my bold prediction for this year. I think the Cowboys are going to be
Right, well,
awesome.
I'm betting the under on their win total.
But we're going off of the list that was starting in 2027 and beyond, correct? Like,
I think the core on their defense was really good, man. Quinnen Williams is awesome.
Oh, I agree with that, but like,
They just got Caleb Downs this year in the draft. Like I think they're going to be really good.
I just think the
really
quarterback gets older, and I don't know. I'm still up in
you're
the
not
air
a
about their
believer in
quarterback.
Dak, to be
Well,
fair.
well, I'm not a believer in Lamar, and I said that roster sucks
Without
too.
knowing
So.
Pickens' future there, it's hard for me to
I get it.
buy in. Because I could get how you would be excited about him, but without Pickens, like, Lamb's good. What's that offense look like without Pickens? You know, it takes a
I think
significant
pretty good.
step
They've been
back.
top 10 in the league for like 3 years now. And that
Yeah.
was before George Pickens was there. So I think they're going to be really well set up over the next 3 to 5 years. I think the Cowboys this year are a legit contender, and I think that'll remain the case for a little while. Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. Coming up in about 15 minutes here on BK and Ferrario, it's time to talk about Alec Burleson for what he is. He's a star. There's no doubt about it. He's a legitimate star in Major League Baseball. I was laughed at by the fast lane last year when I said it. I will reiterate it once again right now.
Circle back.
We'll get into that in 15 minutes. Questions and answers next here on 101 ESPN. 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line for questions and answers. Alex Nielsen, they do our ratings here on the radio. Shout out to Nielsen.
Number 2.
They recently ranked the NFL Fandom Index. They're taking into account a bunch of different pieces of information that lead ultimately to tell them which fans are the most engaged with their respective teams.
Broncos should be top 5 for how many people get angry when I say Bo Nix sucks.
You want to guess the top 5?
Sure, why not? Eagles.
Eagles are at number 5.
Chiefs.
Number 2.
Chicago.
Chicago is 20.
Dallas.
Dang, Chicago.
Number... Where is Dallas?
They're not on here. Those fans don't exist.
America's team.
America's team.
Dallas Fort with 19.
Okay.
That seems low.
Buffalo.
Yeah, this list seems ridiculous.
Buffalo's number 1.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, so I got 3 of the 5.
What spots are we missing?
3 and 4.
So
I don't think you'll get one of these. The other one, I think you might.
We had Philly, Kansas City, and Buffalo.
New England?
No.
Stop screwing up the list, man.
Cincy.
Damn it!
Number 4. That's the one I did not think that you would get. Yeah.
You looked at the list.
No, I haven't seen the list. But I know that Cincy has a quietly strong fan base
doubt.
around the Bengals. I mean, they're not going to root for the baseball team.
I'm trying to figure out.
I'll give you one more guess. Number 3.
Number 3.
You're missing a pretty significant NFL franchise.
Cleveland.
Green Bay.
Green Bay.
I was going to say Detroit.
Crushed
Small
it.
market.
Number 1, Buffalo. Number 2, KC. Number 3, Green Bay. Number 4, Cincy. Number 5, Philadelphia. The bottom 5 in
Browns,
the NFL.
2 LA teams.
No, Browns have a great fan base, actually.
Yeah.
They're just miserable.
LA is at 29.
Both of them?
They're putting together.
Okay.
New York is at 30.
Yeah.
Really?
28 is Miami. 27 is San Fran/Oakland/San Jose. And at 26, it is Tampa Bay. Now, I think some of this is based upon also the number of people. So, like New York, LA, it's a higher bar to clear. That's why some of the smaller markets are up a little bit higher. All right, 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line for questions and answers. From the 314, guys, of the teams that have returning quarterbacks, top 5 talented rosters, and haven't won a championship in a while, which one do you think is under the most pressure to do so this season? Texas, Oregon, or Notre Dame? I think Texas.
I agree.
Yep.
I think this is the year Sark has got to get it done.
Arch is gone after this. You're looking for the next quarterback. And like you mentioned with Sark, the narrative just continues to get louder. I'd have Oregon as a close number 2, though.
I think Lanning is getting close to that, like, great coach,
James
can't
Franklin?
get it done, James Franklin kind of a label.
Friday.
Yeah.
But he's not there quite yet. I think Texas is also just in general a bigger program.
Yeah.
So I think that's the one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Texas is definitely number 1 on the most pressure on them. And when you're in the SEC, I mean, you see how ruthless that conference is. I mean, at some point, it's championship or bust for them. And if it's not this year, I don't know when it would be. So, yeah, I think it's got to be this year, especially the final year with Arch, as we've talked about, going to be the biggest storyline going into the year.
From the 618, which other AAA guys do you think could realistically get the call-up before the end of the year?
Bernal.
I don't know on him.
I think he can.
I'd love to see him.
I think he's closest.
I just don't know who else would
maybe
Gorman.
Moss.
Maybe Gorman
I would love to see Jerpy get the call-up.
as a reliever. Mm-hmm. It'd be interesting.
Put him in the pen. Let's see what it looks like, man. He's on the 40-man already. You don't have to make a move for him to be able to get up here. It's not going to change his clock for next year in terms of the rookie status. I think Cooper, he's 25 years old. You know, I think he's a guy that would make a lot of sense for what this team is lacking.
You're
right
having
now.
all this success right now with these guys, and you just bolster your bullpen already. I wouldn't rule it out.
Also, if Caleb Ferguson continues to struggle the way that he has, eventually you're going to want somebody else in that role if they keep winning.
No, they'll stick with those guys.
And Jerpy's just better. Jerpy's stuff is looking really good, man.
I just wonder if they're hesitant because they don't want him to get hurt again.
Totally.
You're
If
putting
anything, I
so
would
much
think this
stress on that arm.
Well, I was going to say, if anything, I would think this would help you. But if you're not familiar with a bullpen role, then yeah you're right.
I think you're building that back up.
314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line from the 314. Guys, I saw that Andy Strickland on his podcast recently mentioned the Blues being the leader in the pack to acquire Nikishin and believes a trade could get done if they're able to work out the contract. If so, how do you think the defensive pairings would work out? All right, we got to go back to the beginning before we get to the end
the
there.
pairings are the easiest part of this.
So I can't confirm this. I have not seen this
I haven't
podcast, what he said, or how closely this resembles what Strick said, because sometimes it can be lost in translation. Somebody hears something that wasn't necessarily stated there.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if he said, if the Blues wanted to do this, I think they would be the leaders in the clubhouse.
We've said it before. I think it makes some sense. I don't know what the cost is going to be. I think it could be significant. But if they're able to get it done, I think he would be a great fit for what they're lacking right now on the blue line. He's probably your second pair defenseman on this team.
Yeah. Future, this year, I think maybe you're still giving a little bit more ice time to Fowler at times. But yeah, I think looking forward, he's your number 2. Like, you're building around Broberg, Nikishin, Jiricek,
And
Mayu. Yeah. Because I would assume in this package, and I don't know what this package would look like, I would assume Lindstein's probably a part of that.
I would think so.
And your 4 defensemen that your core moving forward are those 4 that we just mentioned. And all of those guys are all under the age of 25 years old.
I would like to see Broberg with Mayu. I would like to see Nikishin with Parayko and Fowler with Carlo.
Yeah,
those would be the 3 pairings that I would like to see.
And I think that'd be ideal for Nikishin if you got him in to work with Parayko for the next 3 years when he's under contract, because Parayko is just that steady Eddie that you put back there and you know he's going to cover for anything, because Nikishin's biggest thing with Carolina was he loved to jump up into the rush. It's the same thing with Jiricek. But yeah, I mean, I think that's where you really want to get to with that, is to where in the future you'd have it as Jiricek and Broberg and Mayu and Nikishin. But for now, you've got Parayko on there and you work with him that way. It's just going to come down to what do they want, because I would imagine they're going to want neighbors, and I don't think the Blues give up neighbors for them. I also think that Carolina is going to be really heavy on trying to get somebody to take on that Kotkaniemi contract, and then are you willing to pay him $9+ million? Because that's what I think he's going to ask for. At least that's what the reports from Russia sounded like.
All right, from the 573, guys, question for you. What are the tiebreaker system for the wild card in Major League Baseball? First one is head-to-head record.
Regulation
series.
Overtime wins.
You're the worst. Second one is intra-division record. So how well did you play against your own division teams? And then how did you do within your league? So those are the top 3. That's really where most of this will be decided. But those are your first tiebreakers. Head-to-head, division, league. Those are the top 3 for the National League wildcard. Coming up next, Alec Burleson is looking the part of a star. Are we ready to buy in now? Because I know a year ago there were a lot of people that were ready to hold out on it. We'll talk about it next here on 101 ESPN.
That one is way out of here. Burleson unloads, and the Cardinals have jumped in front. And it is 2-0 for Alec Burleson, his 21st in the year, a no-doubter to right.
It's what it sounded like on ABC as Alec Burleson hits another home run. He's been excellent this year. Alex, he is being contained by Busch Stadium. If you look at his expected home run totals this year by ballpark, at Busch it's 19. If he played at Dodger Stadium, Kauffman, not exactly known as a hitter-friendly park. The bank out in Philly, Great American Ballpark, 30. 30-plus home runs is his expected home run total at some of these other parks across America. Despite that, he's been outstanding. He's now on pace this year for 41 doubles. He leads the league in doubles. 27 homers, and 118 RBIs. My God, this season. Here's the list of left-handed bats aged 28 or under with at least 40 doubles, 25 homers, and 115 RBIs in a season.
We need an open for Brandon that starts with, and here's the list. Here it is.
In the last 25 campaigns. Again, 40 doubles, 25 homers, 115 ribbies.
Forgive me if I can't keep up with those stipulations.
I don't think that's that hard.
No, it's not.
Round numbers,
you
man.
just keep putting 3 or 4 together. Just move on with it.
You'll like the names.
Albert Pujols.
Lefties, Alex. Lefties. Keep up.
I wasn't listening to that part, but see, this is the 5th stipulation.
Rafael Devers. Chris Davis. Don't worry about that one. Robinson Cano.
Don't worry about that one.
David Ortiz.
Okay.
Todd Helton.
I loved 3 of those names.
I really love 4 of them. Really, like Chris Davis is the one that I would put as the outlier here, and that's he had a. I can't even speak to his career.
He was awesome.
Injuries
I guess
were insane.
Cano was more the tail end of that one. That
Cano was awesome,
dipped
dude.
off.
Robinson Cano was an outstanding player. And Rafael Devers is figuring it out again this year. I think he had to get adjusted to the new ballpark, which is not exactly as hitter-friendly as what he was playing in at Fenway Park. 4 of those 5 players were outstanding hitters. That's what Alec Burleson is, man. What we're witnessing right now is the beginning of the prime of a career of a star-level hitter. He is 40% above league average offensively right now. He is doing the kinds of things that we celebrated Paul Goldschmidt for doing in a Cardinals uniform. He is basically just Wilson Contreras 2.0 at the position. And he's doing it from the left side, which is super valuable because it's hard to find this kind of left-handed pop that also hits for average and never strikes out. He adds something to your lineup that's just different than what the rest of Major League Baseball can provide right now. I'm all in on extending him. At this point, I have almost no hesitation for it. He's 27 years old. He'll be 28 next year. Lock him up through his prime. He is a great guy inside of the clubhouse. You can see the leadership that he has for the other dudes there. They have talked all about what he can do away from the clubhouse. Like, he is a guy that they don't worry about his preparation. He comes in ready to go he already overhauled his swing. He listened to the coaching to be able to get him to become the player that he is today. This is a star, man. Like, we are witnessing the birth of a star in Major League Baseball, and he's right here in St. Louis, and I don't think it's being talked about enough because it's being overshadowed by J.J. Weatherholt and Jordan Walker, and totally fair what we saw this weekend from Joshua Baez.
Yeah, well, and even so, like Ivan Herrera, I think the ups and downs, what Herrera has gone through, people have looked more at that than what they've done with Burleson. And I think some of it is just they just assume he's going to continue what he always does. But this is a much stronger year from Burleson. Do you know where he ranks in terms of with runners in scoring position? Because you know that's my stat, and that's where
he's got to be great.
He's 7th best in Major League Baseball if you go off of batting average. And he's taken, 136 at-bats. He's hitting .353 with a .537 slug. That's right up there with Pete Crow Armstrong, with Yandy Diaz, with Nick Kurtz, and Yordan Alvarez.
Good list.
Like, that's, to me, where the star potential comes into play. By the way, Jordan Walker's just as good as Alec Burleson on this team. So, like, we're talking Jordan Walker. The thing for me and why I've always gone to this in terms of clutch is, can the guy come up in the biggest moment possible? And we did not see that happen a lot with Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. Now, granted, they did it in the regular season, but the postseason happened and things fell flat.
So you're going to turn on Burley if he strikes out 3 times in the wild card series
because you got to do it in the playoffs.
pitching?
I have good news. He's not going to do that. He doesn't strike out.
That's the thing.
Good.
He makes contact. So, like, for me, if you're going to come up clutch, you're a middle-of-the-order bat. And for a guy like Alec Burleson, and you're a lefty, and you're doing it so solid against the right side of the pitchers, and you've been consistent and you don't strike out, I'm with you, BK, man. Like, for me, I'll judge the star off of coming up in the clutch moments, and Burleson and Jordan Walker have done that all season long.
I'm going to say it because I saw it over the weekend. He was doing his thing. Randy Carricker went on Twitter over the weekend. People were asking because they were mad about that, right? He said, no, I wouldn't give him the 4x40. And
he's still sticking to it?
No, I don't know.
He
is saying basically like he's not in on extending him. And the main part of his argument is look at what he's done against lefties. Yeah, look at what he's done against lefties, and then look at the numbers overall. The fact that he's that bad against lefties and he's still hitting as well as he is on the season is insane, dude. Imagine if, like a lot of other teams, the Cardinals just said, okay, he's never going to hit lefties. He'd be hitting like 340 right now. And so he gets a day off like once every 5 days where they're going up against a left-handed pitcher, comes later in the game, still gets 500 at-bats over the course of the year, but hits 340. Okay, we can artificially boost his numbers that way if you'd prefer.
And guess what? He doesn't strike out at all, so you know he's at least going to make contact. And guess what? With Baez, and then when Rodriguez comes up, on top of having Weatherholt and Walker and Herrera, you don't really care if he struggles against lefties if the rest of your lineup can do damage.
Here are his numbers against right-handed pitchers this year. You ready for this, Alex? Have you looked this up lately?
No.
T-Bone, have you?
I've seen it. It's disgusting.
330 batting average.
Okay, that's
405 on base percentage. 992 OPS.
Oh, my God.
That is among the most valuable things that you can be as a player in Major League Baseball. It's just, can you hit the crap out of right-handed pitchers? Because that's like 80% of pitchers in Major League Baseball.
I would assume all first basemen can do that because I can just find another first baseman and plug him into that spot.
Yeah,
no?
It's not exactly how that works.
His splits now.
Second best, by the way, WRC plus against right-handed pitchers in all of Major League Baseball.
Who's won?
Jordan Alvarez.
Who's like going to win the Triple Crown and MVP.
Kurtz and Bryce Harper are tied for 3. And then it's James Wood, C.J. Abrams, Kevin McGonigal, Pete Alonso, Wilson Contreras. Like, it's the best hitters in baseball.
I don't know how you don't hear this list and you're like, oh, damn, he's one of the best in Major League Baseball. If the ballpark's fences at Busch Stadium were in just slightly, this guy would be MVP conversation.
That's the thing, man. Like, he's doing this despite playing at a ballpark that suppresses left-handed power at a serious level. He would be... honestly, his numbers, I know this sounds insane. His numbers would not be all that dissimilar this year against right-handed pitchers to Jordan Alvarez if they switched ballparks. Like, he might actually have better numbers this year against right-handed pitchers than Alvarez if you just change nothing else other than where they play their respective home games.
Yeah. And his numbers, his splits like that. Now, the player I'm about to bring up didn't have as significant a struggle against the same-sided pitcher hand, but it reminded me of Goldie. Like, Goldie was awesome against lefties. It's the thing that's keeping him in the league now, is that he just crushes left-handed pitching. Well, that wasn't as valuable because you didn't see as many lefties, right? And now you're at the point in his career where he's just a platoon bat and you see him like once every 3 days, if that. You see mostly right-handed pitching, and that's what Alec Burleson crushes. And Derek talked about it, I think, last week when he was on with us. That's the thing that teams covet so much because most of the best arms in baseball that you see when you get to October are right-handed. And you want those lefty sluggers. Now, you can match up with them late in the game with a lefty, but I would say this. I would bet on Burley getting better against left-handed pitching. I don't think he's going to get much worse than this. I think he's only going to get better. I mean, you look at his career, he's one of the few examples of a player that just constantly gets better. You look through the years, like the last 3 years, his OPS, 735, 801, 849. He's just gotten better in his time here, and he's learned how to become a true pro up at the box. I expect him to continue that rise. I think he's going to be a stud for years to come.
You've got a roster right now that you're starting to dream on what this looks like 3 years from now. Like, if I'm Heim and that staff, my priority is finding a way to lock up the core that you've put in place. You've already got Weatherholt. I'd be focused heavily on Burleson and Jordan Walker this offseason. Like, I would be focused, and you can have your debates of who you want to do first. Regardless, I think you should go into next year, if there's a year, having both of those guys locked up, and maybe even a Von Herrera conversation started. You get a 4 group of players that you can dream on while adding more complementary pieces over the next couple of years. I mean, I don't know if you guys felt this way. Looking at that lineup when Baez was in it on Saturday, and then when he did what he did, looking at it on Sunday, I mean, this is what I've always wanted. I've wanted to see a lineup that you got to get to number 7 and say, okay, now we can find our way through this one.
Yeah, I don't have the same urgency on Walker. And it's not because I think he's going to go back to being a pumpkin. I don't. I think he's going to be a really good player. But the question is how good? Like, is he going to be what he was in the first half? Or is it kind of closer to what it's been now for the full season, where it's a really good hitter, but it's not a superstar level hitter. It's a star level player because of his age. He's 24, and you would expect that it's going to continue to get better from here. Burleson, I feel more urgency because of the timing and because of his age. I just want to get him locked up through like age 32. Can I get the prime of his career here in St. Louis? Let's go ahead and get that done, and the number's going to be much lower because of his age. Whereas with Walker, it's going to take years, it's going to take dollars, it's going to take a lot. That's going to be a difficult negotiation between the team and the player. I think it's a little easier to hammer out. None of these are truly easy, but it's a little easier to hammer out what the terms would be for somebody like Alec Burleson, because he's a first baseman who's a little older and doesn't have a ton of team control left. I would bet you 5 years and like $90 to $100 million might be able to get it done.
No, I can find another first baseman to do that.
And if you can do that, I think I'd go ahead and get it done. I think that would be the next thing on my plate if I was in Chaim Bloom's shoes. And then eventually we'll get to Jordan Walker.
I think it's important as a organization when you're going through a rebuild like that to lock up who you're saying these guys are going to be around. Just as much as we've talked about how I feel like it's important to have a captain for the Blues, I think it's important to have a group of players where you're at in your life cycle as the Cardinals saying this is the group that's leading us to a World Series. They're here. It's for the long term. This is the guy that you're going to look towards for all of these prospects coming up through the system.
I would caution somewhat on that because this might be the thing that's driving them to be this good, is playing for that next big contract. I don't know if that's the case or not for these guys. Like, I don't think Burley's got that issue. I would be willing to pay Burley. I'm not going to pay Walker yet.
He's also got 3 years remaining.
Exactly.
That's a big part of the difference here is Burley's only got 2. Next year, he's got 1 year left after. So if you're going to do this, like it's kind of coming, because eventually they get so close to free agency that they're like, it's not even worth it. I'll just go ahead and take my chances once I get to free agency. In my walk year with Jordan Walker, 3 years left in the arbitration system. This is year 1 of him being an ARB. I would be in favor of it if he can do like a 5-year deal and we kind of do what is effectively like a bridge deal in the NHL.
Yeah. But
I don't feel that same level of urgency with Burleson. I do. Burleson, I would really like to see them get that thing done sooner rather than later. All right, coming up here in about 15 minutes or so, has the Cardinals rotation clicked into form the way that it did in like 2021 down the stretch? We'll get into that here in just a little bit. But next, what needs to happen this year for the Blues to have a successful 2026 campaign? We'll get into that next here on 101 ESPN.
If you're like me, you know how brutal this last week has been when it comes to the humidity outside. It's just, you don't even want to be out there for more than 10 minutes before you're just drenched in sweat. And you want to make sure your inside is cool so you can enjoy it and still enjoy the summer. And that's where Classic Air Care comes into play, making sure that your HVAC system, whatever it is, however old it is going to last all of this heavy heat and heavy humidity. And they've been making people comfortable in the area since 1926. They've been making me and my family comfortable since 2016. They've been doing so for my dad since the early 90s, and it comes to the incredible knowledge of some of these technicians that have been doing this for 30-plus years, and you get incredible customer service, always making sure that you're taken care of if issues pop up. I'm part of the maintenance agreement, which means twice a year I have them come out, check the unit before the summer and the winter hit, and of course, if there's issues that pop up, I get priority scheduling thanks to that maintenance agreement. But they also are out to take care of the community as well. And Feel the Love program is back until the end of August, to where you can nominate a hometown hero to get a free HVAC system at no cost with Lennox and Classic Air Care. You just nominate a local hero, military vet, teacher, first responder, or someone who's always putting others first. And you can nominate them today and schedule your appointment online at classicaircare.com.
T-Bone, you were at the concert last night?
Yeah. GNR.
Were you saying, be like, welcome to the jungle, baby, you're gonna die?
Yeah, you got to.
How was it?
They would have been good in their prime.
How old are they now?
They're actually not as old as you'd think, because I looked this up. Slash, by the way, he can still play hell of a guitar.
I heard Slash
He's
is
awesome.
incredible.
He's 61. Axel, 63. Yeah, his prime was about 20 years ago.
Let's be honest, for Axel, that dude's voice has probably gone through it. I'm surprised it's even anywhere near what it needs to be.
Yeah.
Huh?
They've lived.
Yeah, they have.
He sounded
Just the way he sings, too.
He
It's like,
sounded bad last night. And I've heard that was a problem 2 years ago.
64 years old. Man.
Anybody throw any chairs or anything?
No.
I heard that's a thing with Guns N' Roses.
He did make reference to their incident.
I would imagine.
Way back when.
I would imagine there's incident.
Yeah. I will say, I'm glad I went and saw him. They felt like a band you have to go see.
AC/DC's the one that I want to go see so bad.
Be fun.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. So T-Bone had a good night last night doing something that he hates doing, which is seeing live music.
And it was hot out, so you know he was complaining.
I actually didn't feel bad with the storm coming.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yesterday was kind of nice. The previous 2 days, though, not so nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Alex, I'd like to feel good watching the Blues this year.
What a transition, buddy.
What needs to happen for this to be considered a success?
I think it's a pretty Captain Obvious answer. It's playoffs. I don't think you can have the argument anymore of just getting close to a playoff spot, especially for how last year went. I mean, the first thing you're going to need is consistency for anybody to say that this was a success. Like, the bare minimum has to be this team doesn't start off poorly in the first 2 months of the season and turns it on after the All-Star break. There needs to be consistency from start to finish of this team showcasing their ability to play. And I think that goes on individual basis. But if this team finishes 8 points out of a playoff spot or 10 points out of a playoff spot, I think a lot more questions start to be asked about the Blues. And it's weird to say because I don't think they're in that winning window in their life cycle, but they are in that you need to start showing signs of improvement because Carbono and Juracek aren't going to be on the roster, my expectation. Who's the young guy that you're saying, well, we got to give him time to grow? Snuggerud? That dude's already showed it. Dvorsky? Okay, sure, but Yeah, I think you kind of have to be in that bottom wild card spot conversation for it to be not considered a loss.
I think I agree with you. Here's my follow-up, though. Are they in a similar spot to the Cardinals where it could be, hey, Robert Thomas had a great year. Top line was awesome. Got some decent returns out of McTavish and McMichael. There's still some growing room there, but it's not quite what it was. Booch is just a sunk cost at this point. He's this year's version of Nolan Arenado for the Cardinals from a year ago. Yeah, we're just, hey, you get some positive answers. You also get some answers that you don't like. Sometimes it doesn't work. Hey, Pius Suter, it staying happening here. Good luck. Enjoy your time elsewhere. Dvorsky, we're not sure. We think it'll be good, but we're just not sure yet. Maybe he's your Jimmy Crooks, right? You're kind of hoping that eventually it becomes a little bit more, but for right now, you live with some of the growing pains. Is it possible for that to be the case? They end up a couple of points out of the playoffs, and you feel good about it because it was more about individual success than it was team success.
Yeah, I think Robert Thomas is probably the one that would ease a lot of stress for the Blues. Like, if he comes out and puts up close to a 100-point season and he's consistent from start to finish and they miss the playoffs by 2 to 4 points, then I do think people are going to be looking at it as, hey, but you got the returns that you wanted from Thomas. There's the consistency. I just think in the scenario that you painted, the Western Conference isn't as strong in terms of in that middle portion versus the top. If all of those things happen of what you said, I don't know how you miss the playoffs, and that's what somebody's got to be bad.
We sure about that?
I think
Colorado's going to be good. Dallas is going to be good. Minnesota's going to be good.
Yeah.
We know those three at a minimum, right? Mm-hmm. We're pretty sure Utah's going to be good.
I think they're hit or miss because, yeah, I think they're going to be fine, but they still haven't fixed their goaltending problems.
But I think they're going to be good.
I think they're probably going to be in the same boat as you.
I would assume so, but I feel like we've said that for the last 3 years.
And they always
people get hyped up about them. They get off to a great start, and then they fall apart.
That means there's one spot left. That's why I bring that up, because if we think that those 4 teams in your division are going to be good, well, now you're talking about everybody in the Pacific Division, so
which
Vegas, Edmonton, I understand. San Jose, I think Anaheim's going to expect to be around that spot. LA, same thing. Nashville, potentially hoping for a bounce back. Winnipeg, same thing for them. You've got a lot of teams that are competing for, in this scenario, one spot in the playoffs. So it's possible, hey, maybe Anaheim is good this year. They figure it out, and they come together. They've got a really good coach, and it all works out for them. They play against a crap division, and they get more wins because of that. And then you've got San Jose, who takes that huge step forward this year, and bam, you're out of the playoff mix suddenly. I can envision a scenario where it feels frustrating because of the lack of team success relative to hopes. But because of individual performances, we get really excited and say starting in 2027, that should be the beginning of their window. And now you're looking for, all right, how do you catch Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Utah in your division?
I can see that, and I think that ties into a consistent play from start to finish. Because if this team starts off poorly from October to December, like they did last year, and everybody's underperforming the roster, the team doesn't look great, and then they turn it on in February, that's where I think people will not be okay with individual returns. It will be what's going on here. And that's when I think the questions start to get a lot louder for Jim Montgomery, for some of the individual players in terms of their performance, like a Robert Thomas, like maybe a Joel Hofer, depending on what he looks like. But if you're consistent from start to finish and your scenario happens, I do think people are going to be a little bit more okay with where they're at, because there is going to be some leeway in terms of growth for Dvorsky and for Carbonneau and for Juracek. I just think this is so much tied to guys like Robert Thomas and those players that funny. They have to be good.
See, but I'm curious if this is where you're going to go too. I think a lot of this is about McMichael and Mason McTavish.
Oh, see, that's not where I was going. We keep bringing up the forwards. I'm thinking the defense is the thing that could hold them back.
Man, it's wild. I don't even look at it that way.
Because, if there's anybody that may have growing pains, we saw the growing pains of Mayu. They sent him to the AHL at one point. Now, I'm saying that's not going to happen this year, hopefully.
Who's the guy that has growing pains?
But the reason I bring up the defense is because that's clearly what they're still trying to target to try and kind of take this to the next step. I think their forward group, now you might be right, McTavish and McMichael, they probably still need some growing, may still have some growing pains, but I think they've shown with their actions they believe they've got most of their forward group secure. It's the defense that it looks like they're still looking to add to, with Yurchek, who will come up, if not this year, probably next year. And then they're in on Nikishin, it seems, if you buy some reports that are out there. I just look at the defense and go, this must be the area that they feel like is, whether it's growing pains or they just don't, that's the next wave for what they've still got to figure out in their retool.
I view that a little differently. I think they look at Nikishin as a clear upgrade. And I don't know that they're like seeking out options for that so much as, hey, we've got an opportunity here, whether it's Bo Byram, Nikishin.
That's how I viewed it.
If there's somebody out there that we think can upgrade from where Theo Lindstein is today, we like Theo Lindstein. We think he's a good player, but we would love to have an even better player in that slot.
We're advancing the process of this.
And now that we have cost certainty on the forward side of things, the only other area that we can go to do that is at second line or second pair defenseman. So that's kind of the way that I view it. I do understand your perspective, though, T-Bone. It might not be as good as we're hoping for this year from the defense, but I think 3 of the top 4 I feel pretty good about. And then Cam Fowler and Brandon Carlo are at least mostly known commodities back there, too.
It's wild because, to me, defense is the probably top area that I'm not concerned about this season because of Parayko, Broberg, Carlo coming into the mix now, and what Fowler showed at the end of the season. And you're not playing any rookies like you were with Logan Mailloux, because even if Lindstein's here, he had a little taste of the NHL. I'd have goaltending as second because I don't know what Hofer's going to look like at the start of the year. And Binnington, I mean, it was not good last year. Forward is probably the number one concern for me because I just don't know what the offense is going to look like.
Mine goes back to McTavish and McMichael because, like, you need them to be good and to hit the ground running. I think I know at this point what Thomas, Holloway, Snuggerud, Neighbors, like I kind of have a pretty good feel for what those guys are going to be. The reason that we expect this to look different is because of Connor McMichael and Mason McTavish. Those are the new guys in the group. And what are you, Connor McMichael? Because 2 years ago, you were a 26-goal scorer. The 2 years surrounding that were 18 and 14. Are you the 26-goal scorer, or are you closer to 15 to 20?
And not good defensively, may I add on as well.
If you're closer to 25, I feel really good about that second line. If you're closer to 15, I don't know as much. So I think that's a legitimate open-ended question. And then for Mason McTavish, hey, your team just gave up on you. Is that because you're a bad player, or is that because the circumstances just weren't quite what they should have been for you there? That's also a very open-ended question. He's 23 years old. I'm excited about it. But there are, legitimate questions about what his potential is going to be.
Yeah, and I mean, mine's tied to Thomas. And what you said, like, I think we all know what Thomas is going to be. I'm still not so sure about that. And I think that's the question right now with him. Are you going to be a guy that just shows up in January, or do you show up in October? Because to me, that's the difference of a playoff team or a non-playoff team. If you show up in October and play the way you did down the stretch, you're a guy that will put up 100 points. And that means guys like Snuggerud and Holloway will be goal scorers up to 30+. If you're not, and you don't show up until January and there's struggles early on, then I think there's still questions of, well, what's this offensive up? Because if he's not performing, that's more pressure on McTavish and McMichael. If he's performing like the number one guy in October, McTavish and McMichael are just house money.
In 15 minutes, we'll dive into the junk drawer. But next, has the Cardinals' rotation finally clicked into form the same way it did around this time in 2021? We'll get into that next here on 101 ESPN.
Tanner Hendrickson here with the Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Cardinals blew out the Cubs yesterday 11-4 as they take 2 of 3 from Chicago, and they get ready to start a doubleheader today against the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch getting ready to occur as it'll be Quinn Matthews starting game 1 for St. Louis. 5:40 will be game 2 tonight. Andre Palante will be on the mound for the Cardinals. And the first preseason AP poll is out. The Missouri Tigers come in at 25. The Sports Center update was brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. I remember around this time of the year, Alex, back in 2021. Now, I'm not saying this team's about to go on a 17-game winning streak, just to get that out front.
Sheesh.
I'll take
But
it, though, if they want
around
to.
this time of the year, they made the trades. They ended up getting John Lester and J Happ, and it was exactly what the doctor ordered. And the Cardinals went from a little below 500 to a team that made it to the postseason and won 90-plus games that season. And it was on the backs of 2 old, washed-up starters.
All right, you didn't have to say old, man.
And they were. That gave them
washed up.
exactly what they were looking for.
They didn't need those side
needed
swipes.
5 strong innings to keep them in it. That's it. Give us 5 quality innings. We'll figure out the rest. We'll be able to score a little bit. We'll keep up, and then the bullpen will close this thing down. Alex, in the month of August, where do you think the Cardinals rank in starting pitching ERA in all of Major League Baseball?
Top 10, so I'll say 8th.
I'll say 7th.
5th. They are 5th in Major League Baseball with a 2.75 ERA in the month of August. This is now almost 3 weeks in for the Cardinals starting rotation.
T-Bone's going to need a Sammy after that.
How many strikeouts per 9 innings do you think they're averaging?
Oh, it's got to be low. I'm thinking like
3.
25th. Oh, sorry. You better
how many
Sure,
strikeouts
go
per
ahead.
inning?
We can do ranking. That's probably better.
I thought 25th would be about where they are.
I'll say they, same as T-Bone, I'll say they get like 4 an inning.
12th. How about that? Nearly a strikeout per inning
shocking.
from your starting pitchers in this stretch. 8.5 strikeouts per 9 innings.
There's the cigarette T-Bone needs with the Sammy.
And we hit home runs now.
It's locking in. Like, these guys are starting to figure it out. Alex, how much are you buying it? Because this is a small sample size. Now, on the season, they're still 9th, I think, in Major League Baseball in starting pitching ERA. But how much are you buying this?
It's funny. I'm buying it right now and probably will for the rest of the season, but I'm not buying it beyond this season because I still think league teams adapt, and you're going to have to add more swing and miss stuff in there, or at least a couple of guys that have that quality. But, man, I'm watching Dobbins' start yesterday, and it's like, he's going 5. He's only giving up a couple of runs. He's keeping this thing close, and then the Cardinals explode offensively, and it's like, okay, well, it doesn't even matter anymore. Now, some of that is, look, if your offense is going to perform the way that they did Saturday and Sunday, it makes life so much easier for your pitchers. But with how good Libby looked, and then with Dobbins, on top of Leahy and McGreevy,
Libby lost, though.
And I'm not buying into Libby.
I'm not buying into Libby either. But look, Libby's like playing roulette right now.
I'm just being a jerk. I'm sorry.
Libby's like playing roulette. It could go red, it could go black. Maybe you get green, but you know it's going to be one of the other when he starts. There's no in between.
The green for roulette is Libby's good starts.
Yes, and they rarely happen.
Few and far between. It does happen.
But when they
Technically
do,
an outcome that can be there.
You're feeling great
and
about
it's
it.
why people keep betting on it, but it's not a good bet.
Regardless, when Libby doesn't have good outings, it's one bad inning. But at least for 3 of those others, you're like, oh, hey, it's pretty close. All of these guys are keeping the game within striking distance. And for a Cardinals offense that now has pop when you get to 5 or 6 in the lineup, that's where you look at it and you say, okay, it may not be sexy. It's not what T-Bone likes, although the swing and miss is getting a little bit nicer with the numbers you just presented in August.
It ain't going to sustain.
I'm buying it for the rest of this season because the matchups that they have and the opponents they're playing against and for where their offense is, man, they're going to keep this thing with at least 2 to 3 runs within striking distance, and that offense can pick up the pace for you.
I will buy that the rotation will have sustained success. I don't think it will be via strikeouts like it has been in the month of August. Like, Dobbins isn't going to keep twirling gems like that, I don't believe. I don't believe that McGreevy's going to be an 8 strikeouts per 9 innings guy.
We'll see.
You know, I think he's going to be more like Palante, who was 4 strikeouts per 9. But that doesn't mean they can't be good, right? I mean, they've defied those expectations all year. I would think if you pitched to contact, Tech. No, that's true.
We'll see.
I agree with what Alex said, though, at the beginning. I would bet on it for this year to have sustained success. Again, I think it will be with less strikeouts. For the long-term picture, though, I would not be saying let's bet on this for success in 2027. But you can ride this staff into October potentially this year, as long as they continue to keep the ball on the ground and get efficient outings like they have done so far.
How you guys feeling about Dobbins?
No, T-Bone's not in on it.
No, every time I watch Dobbins, I go, I can't believe I had to watch Libertor during his struggles.
Well, I'm going to feel that way after we watch Quinn Matthews today.
I think he's a perfectly good, number 4.
Yeah, I think he's a back-end rotation starter, a prototypical Cardinal that can go through 5 and keep it at 2 to 3 runs given up.
He's such a throwback. He is a guy that in 2014 would have come up with the Cardinals, started 30 games, and had a 3.7 ERA for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that means in 2026. Can that have the same success now that it did in 2013, 2014, 2015? Probably not. It can still work, though, as we've seen, because he's just really solid. I don't think there's anything spectacular or special about Hunter Dobbins. And I don't say that as a critique, but he's just reliable. And he goes out there, and I feel like he's going to give you 5 strong innings, give up 3 earned runs, and he's going to leave the game, and you're going to be in it. And there's real value in that, man. They haven't had enough of those guys in recent seasons, especially guys that are under cost certainty for the next 5+ years. When you have that, and you can combine it with what Michael McGreevy has been, Palante has been, Kiley has been, it's a really good starting point for what they're trying to grow here. And I gave credit earlier today to the player development staff. I would like to also give credit to the coaching staff here, because I do not think we have mentioned Dusty Blake's name hardly at all this season. And there's a reason for that, because typically when you mention either the hitting coach or the pitching coach, it's because they're in hot water and it's time to start talking about firing them.
Tommy
It's
Evans
time to make
we
some
don't know
choices.
what we're doing up there.
Never talk about them when they're good, always when they're bad.
Dusty Blake deserves a lot of credit, because I think he is getting the absolute most that you possibly could out of this pitching staff right
Alec
now,
Burleson.
and specifically out of this rotation.
Sorry to interrupt you, buddy. Burleson just came through again. 4x40. Just give it to him right
Left
now.
on left.
That's impossible.
No, it's feasible.
You know, he doesn't hit lefties. He can't.
Quietly starting to hit lefties.
For those not sure why they're bringing this up, the Cardinals are playing the first of their doubleheader right now against the Cincinnati Reds on the road in Cincy. It is the first inning currently. Cardinals at bat. They are now leading 2-0. Game started out with a hit by pitch. Yes, your leadoff hitter today is Joshua Baez.
Oh, yeah.
Ivan Herrera walked. Jordan Walker struck out swinging, but then Alec Burleson doing what he does as a star player.
Let's be honest, though, he didn't hit a home run, and it's
Hitting
in Cincinnati.
yet another double, and he did so this time against a lefty.
Hit a home run or it doesn't matter anymore.
This lineup, man.
Just call up Rodriguez now. Who cares if he's 19?
Because I had this lineup and I looked up and Fermin's batting.
Lefty.
Yeah.
And he's been good against lefties.
Just not the same. It's just not
He's the coverage for Burleson, because Burleson doesn't hit lefties,
Oh,
right?
they were so afraid
What
of
if I
Fermin,
told
they
you-
threw it in the zone.
What if I told you there's a right-handed hitter that you can bring in against a lefty right here in this spot that bats .275 with a .356 on-base percentage?
I would think this
and
is
has an
Fermin
OPS
since it's a Brandon Kiley
and an
game.
OPS of nearly 800.
You see that stupid smirk he's
I
got,
did.
too.
It's Jose Fermin. He's been awesome this year against lefties. You can say what you will for him against righties. He has not been good against them. but
Cesar Prieto.
as a platoon bat against left-handed pitching, Jose Fermin has really carved out a nice role for himself this year.
Not enough thump for him.
I hope he hits a home run with T-Bone
He
saying
has
that.
7 doubles and 3 homers and 100 at-bats.
I hope he
more
crushes
do you
one.
want?
It's just
man.
not. It's just not. It's not the same. It
hope
doesn't
he-
feel the same.
I hope he crushes
Well, it's not
one.
the same as Walker or Burleson.
Or Baez. You see his debut?
Jeez, man.
Holy smokes!
That was against a lefty.
Oh, I thought he just crushed that ball. Turned out he missed.
Crushed it to third base.
I was like, oh no, this is gonna be like that day I said. What was it? They were
was
in
Wynn.
Cincinnati, and
It
I
was Wynn.
said,
Can't be a-
what are they moving Win up to
Yeah.
the 5 hole? And he hit 2 home runs.
You
that
said
game.
Lynn could be a cleanup hitter, and he hit 2 home runs in that game.
Coming up in 15 minutes, how would you rank the teams as they're set up right now in the NL Central? We'll get into that here in just a little bit. Junk Drawer is next here on 101 ESPN. genuinely excited for this juncture. I've already put together a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guesses for us.
Oh, man. I feel like I'm going to go 6 for 6 on this. I knew what the topic was on Friday, and I'm like, oh, I'm so ready.
All right, T-Bone, what do you got for us?
I have got the best games on Nintendo 64, the highest rated games from 1996 to 2001 in front of me.
Can I do the first honors?
Yeah, please. It's your show.
GoldenEye 007.
Yep.
That was the highest rated
What's that,
game for the year
98?
1997.
97,
And this
okay.
is by year, by the way. So you got 97.
Okay, you going another one?
Can I?
Please, go for it.
Zelda.
That is 1998.
Is that Ocarina of Time?
Yep.
Yep. So many hours spent on this
Sorry,
one.
I just really needed to
go
get those
for it,
ones
man.
out. I'm guessing
Were you a
T-Bone,
Zelda
one
guy?
of those was a game that you didn't think that I would play?
No. There's
okay.
other ones. I wasn't sure if you would on that one. That one I wasn't as.
Were you a
confident
Zelda
in.
guy?
I played it, yeah.
Yeah. I was never a
Wasn't my go-to,
This is
but I
also
had
the
it.
one I told you. There's one on this list that I just have never heard of. That one I have heard of before.
I was always an OG, or I was never an OG Zelda. Zelda Ocarina of Time was when I got into it. Okay,
So that was the highest rated game in 98.
Super Mario World 64. That has to be 96.
That was 96.
Yeah.
The highest rated game in
So
1996.
what years do we have already?
you guys
96,
have got-
97, 98.
Yep. You got 99, 2000, 2001 to figure out.
Okay.
By the way, Mario was the game I didn't think you'd play.
Go.
Which one?
That one.
That's like the most legendary
Yeah,
of
of
the
course.
Nintendo 64.
I didn't picture you as a
My
Mario guy.
dentist office growing up always had it, so I would sit there and play it in the waiting room.
What the hell of a dentist
I know, I
office.
loved it.
Mario Party, I would like to throw into the mix. I think that's probably in the early 2000s.
Mario Party.
Not
Damn.
Yeah.
not a top rated game from 99 through 2001.
Mario Tennis.
no, but
Mario
there's-
Kart.
No,
No, not Mario.
There is a Mario. There's 2 more Mario games on here.
Paper Mario.
really?
Paper Mario 2001.
Yeah, that one was I didn't
highest
like
rated
that
game
one,
from
but
that
that
year.
one was pretty. Okay, I've got another shooting game. I don't know if you played this one, but it was the competitiveness to GoldenEye, and I think this was either 2000 or 99. Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark.
Yeah. Wow.
2000.
Yeah, I remember they
That's
hyped
the
that
one
one
I've
up.
never heard of.
They
before.
hyped that one up because GoldenEye had come out. What was it? 99.
97 was GoldenEye.
They hyped Perfect Dark up to be better than GoldenEye, and I played it on my trash.
Did we say Super Smash Bros?
We did not?
Did not, but that is not the highest rated game in
Because you
99.
said it wasn't. The other one's a Mario one. And what year was this? 2000?
99 is what you're going
99.
for.
And this one is a Mario game?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Man, okay,
Diddy
so-
Kong Racing not on there?
No.
Donkey Kong Country, I'm surprised. Or Donkey Kong
Same.
64, I'm surprised
Yeah,
isn't on there.
Quarterback Club, NBA Jam, Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, no. The sports ones were never, in my opinion, popular on N64. It wasn't until
It is a
PlayStation that it
sports
kicked
one.
in. Oh, it is sports. Wow.
1999, Mario Golf is the highest rated Nintendo
okay.
64
Yeah,
game.
Mario. Anything Mario would get you. I'm a little surprised Mario Party wasn't
Now-
in place of that. Mario
Same.
Party was big.
So this is ranked on a scale of like 1 to 10. So like for instance, Mario Golf was the lowest rated by the top year game at 9.1. Which one of those do you think was the highest rated game?
GoldenEye.
Yeah, GoldenEye.
No.
Super Mario 64.
No.
Perfect Dark.
No.
Okay, well, Paper Mario.
Nope. Zelda.
Okay, well, we were going to get
9.9 out of 10 is its
Let me
rating.
tell you the one that I'm surprised wasn't
Mario
on there.
Party came out in 98, so that was against Zelda. So that's why it wasn't.
That's why this one is too.
Number one.
Banjo-Kazooie was another one. I'm surprised.
Oh, yeah.
That one was so popular. It was always in Walmart stores, but it was 98. So you were competing with Zelda
Yeah.
at the time, which
Dude,
there
what
was
a
no
ridiculous year. What year was Crash Bandicoot? Did you ever play that?
winning. Yep. Big into Crash Bandicoot.
My sister loved playing that on the PlayStation.
PlayStation was what I played that one on. That one and Tomb Raider. Always
it
on
was a PlayStation game. I
Yeah,
forgot.
it was never an
So it was an
N64.
N64.
It was created
call.
by the PlayStation
Was it on
company.
the first PlayStation?
Yeah.
I remember
The
playing it
original.
on like PS3.
Yeah, because it was Activision, and Activision I think was solely on
Okay.
PlayStation.
That explains why it wasn't listed as one of those. Okay. I forgot about
That is prime Ferrario real estate. I busted out the N64 for my daughter Adelaide because she's into Mario now, and she saw my cartridge that was Mario Kart, and she's like, "Daddy, can we play Mario?" And I'm like, "Absolutely!" And so I found it all and I plugged it in.
Diddy Kong Racing was.
Diddy Kong Racing
I
was
don't know
good.
if I've ever played that one.
Oh, it's really good.
Dude.
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever played it.
I whooped some 5-year-old
It's-
butt on Mario Kart. Let
Yeah.
me tell you,
That one got pulled out
Like a
in the
teacher.
fraternity house, and we would play a lot of Diddy Kong
Did you ever
Racing.
play Mario Kart?
Of course.
Love Mario
hasn't?
Kart. Mario Kart's legendary.
That's a classic.
That's what we should have did when we went to.
We had a Wii in my
Alton.
dorm. Yeah, we should have.
We should have did Mario Kart and all. Although we
that'd
were
be great.
already we were already done by the time we got back to the room.
Not
so
a Wii. Someone.
Somebody brought up Pokemon. You were someone.
Yeah, I was about to say, you were the problem.
Wait. No.
Dude,
Alex was fine.
Not the second year.
Yeah, the second year I
was
pounded the
fine.
entire case of Bud Light in the apartment.
T-Bone.
Come on, dude.
We were bad the next morning.
Yeah,
That night, we were fine.
The first night, you were gone before any of us turned
He was
the game on.
giggling.
Yeah.
We were out on the patio
And I think you
talking
cried
for
at
like
one
an
point,
hour.
too.
You were giggling. You couldn't stop.
Yeah. You left the apartment. We couldn't find you. We're like, where did you go? And then you crashed on the couch before any of us turned the basketball game on.
Another bedroom.
No,
There's
you
only 2
realized you were a
bedrooms.
lightweight at that point, and you had to catch up with us.
All right, alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK.
Let's
It's
talk
BK
more
and
video
Ferrario here
games.
on 101 ESPN. That was a good one.
Star Fox, that's another one that was great. Star Fox 64.
What is the big console now? I feel like
It's Switch. Or not, yeah, the Nintendo Switches.
Is
I
it?
would say it's actually
Well,
probably
and
PS5.
a lot of those
PS5
Nintendo
or whatever Xbox.
I'm so out of touch with all this stuff now. Like, it's ridiculous.
A lot of
I've
those
got nothing.
Nintendo Switches are bringing back N64 games. So they
Oh,
like
interesting.
redid GoldenEye for the Switch. So that's kind of what I've heard the big thing
or
is.
PC. I don't know what's the most played. I would think it's either PS5 or like just PC. I know PC's big for gamers now.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong on this. Again, I'm washed. Like, I got nothing when it comes to gaming systems anymore. I used to be into this stuff. I feel like it's not as big as it was when we were kids, Alex. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, no, I think you're spot on because at the time, before Nintendo 64, you had Super Nintendo.
And I think it's because of the phone.
Uh-huh.
I think it's because people are now, instead of playing video games as often as they did, because that just was a leisure activity, right? You get together with your buddies, you go to somebody's place, and you play 2K all night or whatever, right? Or when we were younger, you play GoldenEye, whatever. And now I feel like I think there's some of that. I think it's like the COD, that kind of
That's
stuff.
the thing.
More
I don't think there's
first-person shooter
variety
games.
I think if
anymore.
you're doing like more of like people are going to somebody's house to play games, it is more of Nintendo Switch. I think playing online is bigger now though. Like I do think it's still very popular.
I just don't think there's variety anymore because before it was always what's the next game they're going to come up with. And now when you play with people, it's Call of Duty, it's
There's still
Minecraft.
plenty of variety.
Yeah. Man, it just...
Well, you old guys.
Maybe. I mean,
You're really
I don't
showing your
even...
age over there.
I play my Nintendo 64
That
more
was
than I
before
play anything that's been
Grunton when he
made.
stood up during a commercial break.
Somebody said this is the phone in the IRL streaming culture.
What's... Oh, in real life streaming.
But explain to me what that means.
I have no idea. I don't know what that means.
T-Bone, can you help me?
What was the text
I
again?
feel so old reading this.
You are old, but
It's the phone in the IRL streaming culture. I know IRL is in real life.
Yes,
in real life streaming, I don't know what that
I don't know
means.
that they can be
Broadcasting
both.
live video from the outdoors or public space to platforms like Twitch, YouTube, or Kick. So maybe that means like
So they
playing the
meant
video
watch.
game on YouTube.
Now they
People-
mean like watching someone go do something in real life is what
No,
I'm guessing that text is.
I
don't
read
think
it.
so. I'm
I
guessing
read
it's
it
that.
as people watch other people play video games. They don't play them
Well, that's the
themselves.
thing
They
too.
watch
But
people.
most people that I know that do that play video games as well.
My
Play the video
brother-in-law-
game that they like watching someone play.
He doesn't play video games. He watches people play video games, and it doesn't compute up
Same.
here. I don't know how I could watch somebody for hours play a video game.
I get that it's huge. I'm not pushing back against how big it is. It's a huge audience.
But don't you want to play it?
I'm
See,
not.
I watch people that play video games, but they're playing a game that either I already play or it's a game I've heard and have interest in. So I watch them to see if I think I would enjoy the game.
I'm not asking this as a critique. I know sometimes it can sound that way when I ask
An
these
old man
follow-up
asking me a
questions.
question.
What is the appeal of that?
It's like
That's
almost
what I
being
don't
in
know.
like your own. It's like being in another community almost. Not so much hanging with the people that are watching it for me, but like when they play, like he's playing with his friends, and they're just funny, right? They're just having a good time. I
Okay,
throw it
so
on
it's
in the
for the
background.
personality more than it is to watch
It's not really
them
the
play
video
the game.
It is like I would prefer they're playing a game that I like, that I understand. Like there's sometimes like the guy I watch will play like World of Warcraft. Over my head. I don't want to watch him when he does that, even when he's playing with his friends. But like when he's playing a game like I'm playing, like Call of Duty, Hell Let Loose. Like if he's playing that and he's got his buddies and they're funny, it reminds me just when I'm playing games with my buddies.
But
So
doesn't
I
it
enjoy
make you
watching
want to
it.
just go play the game with your buddies rather than watch somebody have
Sure,
fun?
but like if my buddies can't play because it's 5 o'clock and.
But don't you want to just play though, even if your buddies are? That's the thing I don't get. Why do I
See,
have to
I
play with
enjoy it.
somebody else? Like, because I sometimes just be like, I just want to play.
See, I can't play a game by myself really unless it's a sports
Oh
game.
my God, I spent hours of my life when I
was
was,
up till-
10 years old doing that.
I was up-
Halo. Yeah, Halo was
Just
just
work your
me.
way through the maps.
Halo was just me.
I was up till 4 a.m. on Friday playing a new video game with my buddies back home.
I haven't seen
I woke
4
up
a.m.
at
in a-
12:30 on Saturday.
Do people get together to play video games
No.
anymore?
When I was younger, we did. When I was younger, we'd go to a buddy's house and we would play like NBA 2K, and we'd play each other like all night.
Okay.
But like not at my age anymore. Because, you know,
Because you're old.
I feel so old asking these questions, but it's just.
Do you remember playing it where you had to put a cardboard on the screen with GoldenEye when you'd play against somebody because you didn't want them to see where you were at? So what it was a split screen, and you try and find the person you're playing against to shoot them, and it's like a death match. But you'd put a cardboard on the TV because you didn't want the guy up top to see where you were at on the bottom. That's what we used to do, T-Bone.
Somebody said, guys, I totally agreed with your take on watching somebody else play a video game until I realized that I'll go watch somebody play baseball, football, basketball, etc., which is ultimately just watching somebody else play a game.
in a game you can't play.
I'm not good enough to do it, though, in real life, so I have to play it on a video game.
Yeah,
I can smash the X button to hit a home run. I can't actually
I'm
hit
just
a
going to
ball.
say this because I don't care to be
PK probably doesn't know what the Xbox
politically correct. I don't view them as the same. Like, it's not the same. Watching somebody play baseball
All
is not
right,
the same as
Grandpa.
watching another kid play a video game.
I don't
It's
think
not,
you're,
it's not the same.
You're
I'm
not
sorry.
at
It's
that
not the
age
same.
yet where you can say whatever
You
comes
can't
to
call
mind.
that the same talent as
The
hitting a
the
100-mile
equivalent would be
fastball.
me watching somebody else watch the baseball game.
Yes, a YouTube stream of me watching. Don't people do that, though? Like,
Yes,
isn't that a
the guy that we
Barstool Sports
played
thing?
earlier today.
Yeah.
He was watching the game and then reacting to it on a stream.
That I don't get.
Yeah, that I'm not into. I know some people are super into it.
Aren't we thinking of doing that?
No.
Jackson's done it. Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. It's BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN. Coming up next, how would you rank the teams in the NL Central based on how they're set up for future seasons? We'll talk about it next year on 101 ESPN. Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. You look at the NL Central right now, there are a few teams that seem to be set up well, not only for today, but also for the future.
Like the Cardinals, huh?
Yeah, Cardinals are among them.
Pirates, woohoo!
No.
Reds.
Nope.
Watch out.
Reds.
I was going Brewers, Cubs, and the Cardinals. I would say those three teams are set up pretty well for the future, Alex. When you look at the way that those teams are currently constructed, what they have coming, Brewers have one of the top farm systems in minor league baseball. Cubs have some really good young talent on their roster right now, and a couple of good players coming through their system too. How do you see this thing playing out? Who would you want to be? Like, if you were a fan right now and you were up for negotiation, you could be a fan of any of these three teams. Who would you want to be a fan of the next few years based upon what they have?
Man, they're so close because, like Milwaukee, you can make the argument that the system, it doesn't matter if guys age out of the prime window. You know they're going to find somebody else. The Cubs, you've got a potential MVP. It's weird to say. I think I'd rather be the Cardinals right now, and it's just because of the age range of all of your guys. You've got Walker under the age of 25, Weatherholt under the age of 25, Herrera under the age of 20, or I think he's at 26, so he's right there. Burleson's 27, on top of having multiple top prospects in your system that are going to be under the age of 25 that could see Major League in the next couple of years. The thing that holds them back, I guess, is pitching and what that looks like versus Milwaukee and the Cubs, who at least have that. I think I'd have the Cardinals at the top of that list, probably tied with the Milwaukee Brewers because of where that system is at.
Yeah, I think it's between them and Milwaukee. And I think I give the slight edge to Milwaukee just because they've got the pitching that's up there already. And the Cardinals is an unknown. Sorry, getting emotional about it.
All right, buddy, you can cry if you want.
But I think because the Cardinals' top-end pitching prospects are still unknowns, I would give the advantage to Milwaukee. I mean, Mizorowski's just a different animal when it comes to being on the mound. They've got Kyle Harrison that's there. And then they've got the trust in their pipeline has proven over the last handful of years that they can just continue to bring a next wave. Now, they are missing the potential MVP candidate in their lineup, right? Like, Bryce Turang's a very good player. I don't know if he's really going to end up being a MVP caliber piece like PCA is or what Jordan Walker could be because he doesn't have, like, one big sexy tool, right? He's just a very good – he reminds me of, like, Weatherholt, where he's good at everything. And then, like, Churrio's a good player, but I don't know that his ceiling's going to end up being an MVP. And then it just comes down to, can they lock up William Contreras when he becomes a free agent? I'm skeptical of that. But if they do, then they've got a really good core there in place with the pitching that's there. That's cost control. So I would give a slight edge to the Milwaukee Brewers for now. Once Doyle, Senja, Franklin, those guys start to get here, there's a chance the Cardinals can quickly pivot that into their favor.
I think it's pretty clearly Milwaukee right now. But I do agree with you that they're lacking the thing that both the Cardinals and the Cubs seem to have, which is like a dude that can be just a superstar. I would say the closest thing to that with Milwaukee right now is actually Jacob Mizorowski on the pitching side of things. Like, he is their version of what the Cubs have with PCA or what the Cardinals hope they have with either Walker or Weatherholt or Burleson, depending on who you would throw into the number one criteria for that. But position player-wise, they don't really have it. Jackson Churrio's very good, but he's closer to, like, what you have right now with Herrera than any of those other guys that I mentioned, where I think in an ideal world, he's probably your second or third best bat. And I would say the same thing is true for Turang, who's kind of more similar to like what you have with JJ Weatherholt, you know, as a really good player that I would love to have on my team. I would love nothing more than for Turang to be able to play second for the Cardinals, and you can move JJ Weatherholt over to third or vice versa. That'd be awesome. It would fix so many of their problems. But he's not a superstar. He's just a really good baseball player. And then you look at what's still coming for the Cardinals, and I think that's what gets me excited about their future, similar to the Brewers, where they have, you know, it's like 3 top 20 prospects right now. So they may not have that superstar today. Maybe he's coming. Maybe it's that guy that they chose not to trade at the deadline in order to get Tarek Skubal on their roster right now. But man, is this going to be a fun division or what? Watching it over the next few years with these 3 teams potentially at the top. And we haven't mentioned Paul Skeens, who happens to play in this division, or Ellie De La Cruz, who's also in this division. It's as exciting of a time in the NL Central as probably it has been since like the 2011 to 2014 range, when the Pirates were also very good. The Brewers were pretty good at the time, and the Cardinals were still doing their thing.
And it peaked in what, 14 or 15 when the 3 of them won 100 games?
Was it 13?
I think it was 13. Wasn't it the Cardinals and the Pirates that played each other in that playoff?
Well, no, because the Pirates lost to the Cubs in the wild card. Because they were the wild
So
card
I'm
one
thinking
game.
of
Congrats, you
Am
won
I
100
thinking
games.
of 14 then? I'm thinking of 14
I
then
thought
with
it
the
was
Cardinals
15,
and Pirates.
but
I
maybe
read
I'm
15.
wrong.
Was it? I think it was 15.
Yeah, I thought it was because it all snowballed into that year where you're right. Like it became the
2015,
pinnacle for
Cubs
Pittsburgh.
197, Pirates 198,
Oh,
Cardinals
97,
100.
That's right. They were all 95 plus, not 100 plus. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get to that again, just because it's hard to do that in a division. But I mean, the one team that I'm skeptical if they're going to stick around is the Cubs. And the reason for that is because, like, look at their pitching. I mean, look at how they've had to just kind of Band-Aid this thing together this year. And they've got Boyd, Imanaga going to be free agents, and Gossman as free agents at the end of the year. And Seiya Suzuki's a free agent at the end of the year. Like, it quietly kind of feels a little bit like an all-in year for the Chicago Cubs. They did sign Bregman. Now, maybe they'll turn around some of that money and go spend it on some pitching. But, you know, like, until I see Cubs ownership actually flex their might with their payroll, I'm a little skeptical of what they're going to do. They're the one team, like, if they can go out and spend some money and kind of reinforce that pitching staff, or if they've got some younger arms in the system that are coming, then they could really make this an interesting three-team race.
The other thing is, like, they might have missed on Swanson as a marquee free agent signing.
Yeah.
He's good, but not a marquee free agent signing. Bregman's had a good year, but not a special season for them. And then, like, Edward Cabrera was their big move on the pitching side of things. He's been mostly terrible or hurt, or both, this season. So when you have those as your marquee moves, it does change things for you as an organization. And some of the flexibility that they were hoping to have in future seasons, they still have some.
They did get PC on, I think, a bargain deal, if I'm not mistaken. I think they locked him up, I think he signed an extension this past year.
Yeah, he's like $11 million a year for the next few seasons.
That's a win. There's the steal for the Cubbies.
But they also are starting to pay $23 million a year for Nico Horner here pretty soon, who's not having a great season right now.
Yeah, that's why we don't bet on defense, guys.
Yeah. I was just going to ask, is it going to be the strongest division in baseball in 3 years?
I still would bet on the NL West being up there and the AL East.
Yeah, I agree.
Those would be the two.
NL West, I'll be fascinated just in terms of where things go with the Padres. And I don't think the Giants or the Rockies ever really get there. And the Diamondbacks, I would imagine, sustain that with the Dodgers. But I only ask that because, like, even though the Pirates have once again stubbed their toe, man, the pitching is in a really good spot. And they finally started to find some offense when they went out there and got Brandon Lau. And you wonder if they get that right. I mean, you're 4 teams deep if the Pirates can figure their own ish out in a couple of years.
The funny thing is, do you know where the Pirates rank this year in runs scored?
They're like top 5, aren't they?
They're third.
Yeah.
Third in Major League Baseball. Here's the problem. They're awful at run prevention.
Yeah. And Paul Skeens has not been elite this year.
It's the whack-a-mole thing.
Yeah.
Where one season, it's like, hey, man, if they could just have like an average offense, man, would this be a fun team to watch. And then now you look at it, they're the third best offense in baseball. They're awful. They're 5 games below 500 right now. By the way, Cardinals game going on right now. They're up 2-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Unfortunately, they are running into a bit of trouble in this inning as we have now seen, I believe it is 3 consecutive walks it's a single, a walk, and I believe another walk by Quinn Matthews.
Got that Blake Snell feeling now, T-Bone?
Again, I said Blake Snell and Esk was a big key part of that.
No, I'd never heard
And
Esk.
that's very Blake Snell-esque. 3 strikeouts in the first inning, followed by 2 walks the next inning, and the bases loaded. Now, if he's really Blake Snell, you know how many of these runs score? 0.
He'd get a ground ball.
Yeah,
Right
double
here.
play ball. Or 2 strikeouts.
Or a strikeout and then an easy ground out.
Yeah.
2
We'll find
strikeouts
out.
would be ideal.
So we'll update that on the other side. We will also get into in or out here on BK and Ferrario. Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. 314-399-9646. That's the Your Comfort Service text line for in or out. You guys give us a scenario. We will tell you if we're in or out here on BK and Ferrario. Guys, in or out, Cardinals fans are going to be out on the Quinn Matthews experience within the next 6 weeks.
Oh, man. Although if he keeps racking up zeros on the scoreline, I don't think people will care as much.
I'm in on that. I remember, what was it, 2 off seasons ago when Snell signed, or 3 off seasons ago? I was like, they should go after Stoner. He's like, he walks the world. Who would want Blake? So I'm like, yeah, but he's got like a 1.6 ERA.
Forgive the tone here. Those people were done. Those people were dumb.
Done or dumb?
Both. Duds and dumb.
Oh, dud.
Damn, I don't think we should call them dumb, but they were finished.
I mean, they did have one fear. They did have one thing that was accurate. He's been hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And with this rotation, how little depth they have,
would have been a problem.
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, I'm in. I think I could see where Quinn would very much sour on people.
I'm in that. I think it'll happen. I also think this is exactly what the Cardinals need. This guy has 4 strikeouts in the first 2 innings of the game. He's allowed 1 hit, 0 earned runs. Man, that'll play. It's not going to be 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. He's not going to get that deep into games very often because it's going to take him a lot of pitches to finish guys off. But as you get further along into this experience, I think we will see that swing and miss is incredibly valuable. And then you have guys like Hunter Dobbins and, more importantly, I can't believe I'm saying this, Andre Palante and Michael McGreevy, who can give you those innings. But this guy is your X factor where, hey, on any given day, he can give you 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, 1 earned. But most of the time, it's probably going to be closer to like 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, 3 hits, 2 earned. Pretty good. Gets you the results you need, gives you a chance to win. Alex?
In or out, if the Cardinals pulled off a trade for Alexander Nikishin and they signed him to a 6-year, $8 million AAV, in or out, you'd be excited.
Yeah, in. Depending on what the trade is.
Yeah.
I would be excited about the player they acquire, and then we could.
Would the money make you excited, though? Because that's the big question. $8 million.
Yeah, I don't think that's terrible anymore. That's what you got to pay.
Mm-hmm.
I would say in. I think it'd be exciting. I think the money doesn't really worry me because I think that's what you got to pay now. I think the return would be something to keep an eye on, or what you send in Carolina, I should say, would be something to keep an eye on. But like, even if it's, now this will be unpopular amongst the group, if it's Jake Neighbors, I'd be okay with it and I would get it. I know, like, Alex, you don't want to move on from Neighbors, but that may be what it costs to make this happen, so I would be willing to do it.
Yeah, I'm in on this, too. The Neighbors one, I think I'd just be a little skeptical of, but I'd be open to it being a good deal because as much as I like Jake Neighbors, you're getting a hell of a defenseman back in return, or at least the potential of it. But 6 years by 8, you got him till 2032 with your core, and for $8 million, if I got he and Broberg sitting at 8, that's a steal if he turns out to be what you want.
You know, Alex is excited about the Cardinals right now because he said if Nikishin comes to the Cardinals.
Did I?
Yeah.
I thought I heard that, but I wasn't going to say anything because I wasn't 100% sure.
No,
he did. We're all in right now.
I don't know if that's
That's fun.
We're all in.
You know, when Alex
Give me
is
that damn conductor hat.
Yeah, no. Don't you touch this. We are not there
You almost
yet.
put it on last week, man.
No, I said we're getting close. We're getting close. You get to the end of that Phillies series.
In fact, I should be the one that could put it on. You broke them last time you put it on.
Hey, man, imagine what this is going to look like after the Phillies series. Whew.
Josh Baez is going to go into a hole.
Guys, in or out, the Cardinals will have 3 25-plus home run hitters next year.
Next season?
Yep.
In. They've got like 5 candidates.
Dude,
this offseason is going to be full of us saying, woo-hoo!
And one of them to T-Bone will be Nolan Gorman.
No, I'm not on that.
He'll be like,
don't be
T-Bone
surprised
3.
if the next 3 years, T-Bone 3 includes Baez 40 bombs.
Baez could do it. Herrera could do it. Walker could do it. Burleson could do it. Weatherholt could do it.
See, I don't know about
I'm a little
Herrera
skeptical on Weatherholt.
I'm skeptical on Herrera doing it.
Dude, Weatherholt's pretty close to being on pace this year.
I think Weatherholt's
He's
got
on
more
pace for like
pop than we
22.
think. Yeah. Well, I think he could grow into more power.
Not at Busch Stadium.
That's fair.
Find a way to do it.
I would say in. I think you're going to definitely get 3. I don't think Herrera's going to be
He's
one
on
of
pace
them,
for 22
How
this
many
year.
of Weatherholt's home runs have at Busch?
Let's take a look.
I say less than 5.
Oh, I'd say like 10.
I mean, Burley's kind of 50-50.
7 home runs at home, 9 on the road. So it's about 50-50 in terms of the split there.
I don't buy it. You think you're a fraud.
314-399-9646. That's the Your Comfort Service text line for in or out. Guys, in or out, Mizzou will get to at least 9 wins this year, including their bowl game.
Out. You're not getting to 9 wins.
Including their bowl game.
Yeah, out.
That's 8. I still don't think you're
I think
getting
they're
8.
getting like 7 wins this year. You win
Including their bowl game?
8. Yeah, you win the Cheez-It Bowl 8.
I'm out
They
as
won't
well.
beat Iowa in
By the way,
Cheez-It
Cheez-It Bowl's
Bowl.
a better game than what they're probably going to get. Just a heads up. If they win 7 games, they ain't getting to that.
Oh, my bad.
I do love cheese.
Sorry, I can't think of a bowl that was for 7 wins.
can't think of a worse bowl.
Yeah. Pop-Tart Bowl.
In or out, Chiefs will do no better than third in their division. Mount, I think they'll finish top 2.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's a
I would
really
say
tough
out.
division, though,
Bo
man.
Picks
Chargers are
isn't
very
gonna be
good.
doing
I'm
much
not
there.
buying the Chargers. I think that's where I would say I'm out. It feels like a year that ends in Y, just like with the Utah Mammoth.
A year that ends in Y.
Yeah, I got kind of caught in between there.
How many years end in Y?
26 year.
That also doesn't end in Y. It starts with Y.
I don't think a year ends in 90. 90 did.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
20. The 10s.
Yeah. Yeah.
10 doesn't end in Y.
The decades.
Anyways,
That doesn't
each
end in
year
Y
we get
either.
excited about the Chargers and they disappoint, just like each year national media gets excited about Utah and they disappoint.
Yeah, seriously. Utah and Nashville every year. It's a, hey, they're going to be good. Okay. Get a goaltender and then we'll talk.
314-399-9646 from Merp the Barbarian. In or out, Joe Burrow will finish top 3 in MVP voting this year.
Out.
I could see it.
I just can't say healthy.
Yeah, I think I would say out because I'm a little worried about that O-line. I don't think they're going to be able to protect him. And then my fear would be it leads to injury, so I would say out.
I think he's going to put up monster numbers. That
It is
division,
10
I don't think
games.
is very good. I think he'll play really well. He's top 3 in the odds. Wow. I'm a little surprised by that, actually. Josh Allen's the favorite, then Lamar, then Joe Burrow at 9-1, tied with Matthew Stafford.
I'd have Drake May before I'd have Joe Burrow.
I get that. Dak at 14-1, I think is a decent bet.
Just don't send me Bo Picks. That guy's never going to win one.
Jordan Love 25-1.
Come on, man.
Kyler Murray 50-1.
Oh, that's just a waste of money. Just Venmo me your
Jackson
money.
Dart, your boy, 65-1.
Yeah, I'm out on him now.
What happened?
Not after him getting mad at the Giants for asking him to take a concussion test.
In a preseason game, dude. Oh, my God. This guy just doesn't know how to help
Why do they
himself.
keep asking me to do this? I'm fine. Jackson, you went into a defensive tackle head first.
Yeah. Hey, man, if you keep leading with your head as you...
I'd still take Jackson
Attempts to
Dart
break
over
tackles.
Bo Picks.
I don't know,
No, you
man.
wouldn't.
Dart will be on the Dart won't be on the field.
I'll take Jackson Dart any day. He's got guts.
All right, guys, from the 573, in or out, Joshua Baez will be part of the home run derby next year.
Oh.
I'll say out because he's going to go through his ups and downs, and it's hard to be in that home run derby unless you're putting up pretty incredible numbers by that time.
I'll say in. What the hell? Why not?
I don't want him to. I don't want his home run swing to be broken.
Who's more likely? Because this will be a fun one.
Walker.
Burley or Baez. I think Walker will
For
be
the
in
home
it.
run derby?
Yeah.
Baez.
Yeah,
I think
Baez.
Walker will be in it because he'll go to defend his title.
I don't think Burley has the home run swing that they would look for something like
He
that.
just swang out of his shoes at that pitch.
Burley's a doubles guy.
Don't disrespect.
Carpenter
Burley
was a
like
doubles
that.
guy, too. How'd that turn out?
He was great, but he never did the home run derby.
Should have.
You should have. Yeah.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK.
You
Coming
jerk.
up next, how would you rank these 2 moments from the 2026 Cardinals campaign? We'll get into that next here on 101 ESPN.
Tanner Hendrickson here with a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Cardinals currently playing game one of their doubleheader against the Cincinnati Reds as they lead it 2-0 in the bottom of the third. We'll keep you updated on the Cardinals score throughout the day today here on 101 ESPN. Game 2 will be tonight at 5:40 as Andre Palante will be on the mound for the Cardinals. And the AP preseason poll is out for college football. The Missouri Tigers come in at number 25. The Sports Center update was brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. It's BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN. Which moment did you think was cooler this year? Now, the fact that this is even a question speaks to how incredible a few of these moments have been for the Cardinals this year. Did you prefer, Alex, the Jordan Walker home run derby win, or what we saw Saturday, where Joshua Baez, in his major league debut, hits 3 home runs on his first 3 plate appearance? Which one for you resonated more?
That's like asking me to pick my favorite child. Like, come on, man.
We can do that next.
No, I don't want to do that at all because they're all my favorite. I mean, this is too close to call, but I think I give the slight edge to Baez because it was at Wrigley, because it was such a historic moment. But by no means do I believe that this is like in a different tier. Like, Walker's home run derby win is right there with Baez because I'm judging it off of my reaction and my glued to the television feeling. Both of them, I had the exact same reaction when the moment happened. Like when Walker got to that final round against Schwarber and then when he went on that rally to win it, I was jumping up and down watching that. The same thing happened on the second home run with Baez in that game.
It takes a lot for a team in the Cardinals position to be the talk of baseball. And they were the talk of baseball in both of those instances. For Jordan Walker, he was the storyline. He had a moment, a stage unto himself on that night. And it was on Netflix, and Barry Bonds afterwards said, "I've never seen anything like it." And then on Saturday, Joshua Baez gets the call up. Now, it's not a stage to himself, but on a stage that included, 20 other baseball players, he was the one that stood out. And not just among those 20, among the history of every major leaguer who's ever appeared in a game for the first time. He did something none of them had ever done. I would still go Walker, though, man. I think what Walker did, it's the first time it's ever happened for this organization. It's on a national spotlight. This is a guy, we know what the backstory is with him. And for him to get to a spot where he's even eligible to be a part of that home run derby, that event, which is just full of superstars across the league. And then for him to make a name for himself where now he's not just a Cardinals star, he is nationally viewed in that lens. That, to me, was the one that resonated a little bit more for me. And that is not to take away from anything that Joshua Baez accomplished over the weekend, which was spectacular. It was fun. It was exciting. And for it to be a part of that historic venue and this rivalry also added another layer to it. But, man, I will never forget what Jordan Walker was able to do in that ballpark against Kyle Schwarber, coming back from that deficit, sitting on the couch next to Barry Bonds afterwards. That, to me, was just like, it's one of the coolest moments that I've ever seen doing this job, watching it live.
It's not even close for me. It's Baez's day on Saturday. I mean, that's in an actual game. It's against a guy that's trying to get you out, that's not just grooving you BP fastballs, even though he did that on the first pitch to him, literally.
Yeah, that was a meatball.
And the way that he did it, too, which is impressive as hell. I mean, he hits 3 different pitches to all 3 spots in the ballpark, and none of them, by the way, were cheap home runs.
You're
where
right.
He hits it in the air, and it just kind of gets caught in the wind, and it floats, and it lands in the basket, and PCA's like staring at it like, oh, man. These were all 3 shots.
That's what I envisioned him sounding like. Oh, man, I wish I could have got that one.
That, to me, is by far, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Walker, because it was cool in the moment. I mean, it was great. And watching it live when I was back home. It's one of the biggest
stories in baseball this year.
Yeah, and he had, like, the moment. Walker is the story of, man, this guy was, like, had failed the 2 previous years, really struggling. Like, we had conversations of, like, is this his last year of a real shot with the Cardinals? It's not the same with Baez, but Baez had conversations down the minor leagues where they sent him to the complex league, right? I mean, we mentioned it earlier. So he has some of a story. His failures, though, were more at the lower levels of the minor leagues. But him to be the first guy to do something like this in the history of the sport that's been played since the 1800s, this is kind of stuff like Jason Stark dreams about when he writes his athletic articles. So for me, it's not even close. It's Joshua Baez hitting 3 home runs in the first 3 at-bats of his big league career.
It's a lot closer for me. I get the Major League Baseball history element to it, and I totally understand what you're saying. Like, this is a guy that's actually trying to get you out. But, man, that home run derby, like, you got to have ice in your veins to be in that moment if you're Jordan Walker. And to think of the story, like, yes, Baez has had failure, but he never had failure at the Major League level. Jordan Walker had failure at the Major League level for multiple years, to where an entire fan base was saying, like, nah, I think we're good. And then all of a sudden it changes, and you did it in Philly against the guy that was on the home team, and you found a way to just make everybody's night miserable. That is monumental stuff in terms of ice in your veins.
I get it, but there's going to be other home run derby winners. There
Not
will
in that
eventually
sense, though,
be
man.
a Cardinals that will win a home run derby again.
I think there's a difference, though, between just a home run derby winner and what happened this year.
Yeah, but
there are very few home run derbies that you truly remember. That you will always have as recall of that moment that happened. This was one of those.
Yeah, the
and
derby
to
for
have
me,
the background that Walker had going into that season and that home run derby.
I get it.
You're not going to see that.
The derby's just a gimmicky all-star thing that I know it's become a passional time.
The all-star game is a gimmicky all-star thing.
Oh, no, I get it. But I mean, they're all that, right? Like the dunk contest is that, the three-point shooting
But the home run
contest.
derby, you still have to have raw talents to be able to pull that off.
I agree, but like what? I mean, Baez has done something that hadn't been done in 100+ years of the sport, and it's probably not going to be done, if ever, again in the sport.
What Baez did, this is inarguable, is less achievable.
Yes.
It is harder to achieve what Baez did, which is what makes it such a spectacular achievement for him to have. And somebody on the text line brought this up.
That the home run derby was scripted for Walker? I never would have thought that.
From the 314, the main point here is that both were unforgettable, historic Cardinals moments in a season that was supposed to be dead from the very beginning. Pretty cool. Absolutely.
Pick your favorite child.
That is what stands out most, is whether it's Dustin May's complete game shutout or Jordan Walker's home run derby, or pick any of the early home runs from J.J. Weatherholt where you're like, wait, what? Like, he did it again? Or Alec Burleson. It's not necessarily individual moments so much as it is, like, just the season that he's putting together. And then over the weekend with Joshua Baez, what he's able to do, it's been pretty awesome, man. I mean, this is a Cardinals season that I will remember more fondly than really most of them since 2016. And that sounds weird because they're probably not going to make it to the playoffs this year. But given the expectations coming in and what we've been able to witness this year by the team and what it hopefully will represent for their future, it's been fun as hell to watch. And it's been a hell of a lot of fun to cover, honestly, as well.
Yeah. I mean, 2022 is going to be something that I remember, but it's solely off of one player more than it's a team and like multiple players. And that's what this one is. So I think you're right in the sense of it's a season that I'm not going to forget in terms of multiple guys leave a lasting impact.
22 was special because of Goldie and Arenado being top 5 MVP candidates. And then the 700. Chase for 700.
Yeah, but as T-Bone said, like, you'll see guys in the MVP conversation another time.
21 was special because of the 17-game winning streak, but the season mostly sucked.
Yeah, that season was
21.
That season was bad
the
until the
season really
end.
kind of sucked, especially June. And then you had the 17-game winning streak, which got you to the end of the year. How did you guys feel about 2019?
Well, it was a Stanley Cup season, so it was amazing for me.
No, for the Cardinals.
Oh, I don't remember it.
I mean, I don't really remember
I don't.
it either.
Like,
It was the year they went to the NLCS.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember people being disappointed at them getting killed in the NLCS.
Yeah. Do you think that will be remembered more fondly than this season, though, right? Because they got to the NLCS?
No, I don't think so.
I
think
mean,
this
people
is
didn't
going to
like
be one
that
of the
team in 2019.
I think if this,
I was honestly not sure.
if this rebuild goes the way that they hope it goes, I think this is going to be a year you always resort back to and say that was the year that they got to where they got to today.
I will be curious to know, like, how much of remembrance from this year starts by what occurs next year. And what I mean by that is this is fun, and I agree with you guys. I mean, this team has been fun to cover, and considering I thought they had a chance of losing 100 games at the beginning of the year, it's fine and dandy, but the question becomes, all right, what's next? You know, is this the sign of like the beginning of something, or is the front office going to say, no, we don't want to do any splurging. We're just going to kind of let the development process play out, and then next year they take a step back.
I would say there's a chance though. Like, let's say next year they go to the playoffs. We play a full season, they end up in the playoffs, and this was clearly the start of something more long-lasting. 2015. What do you think is more fondly remembered among Cardinals fans, 22 or 2015?
22. I mean, they had Albert.
Yeah, I think so too, right?
Yeah.
So 22,
And the MVP
2015, and then 26 would be third since 2015. Would you guys agree with that?
I would put 21 ahead of it because of the winning streak, get to the playoffs.
You think so?
Yeah. I know it had a disappointing end, but I mean,
I don't know, man. I think 26
17
is
in a
up there.
row. Yeah, but
I think 26 might be 2.
I mean, they may not even be in the playoffs. I think you got to be in the playoffs to beat. If they get to the playoffs, I think they will beat 21.
Man, I don't know if you do, though. If you got a guy who wins Rookie of the Year, if you got a guy who's in the MVP conversation, if you have a
This
rookie that
market's
comes
just
up.
different. Like I said this all the time. Like when Mo said this, I thought he was right when he said it at the time. This is a market that doesn't rebuild. Because we judge this team on playoff success, not fun. It's just not. That's not the brand of the Cardinals baseball. I mean, it's not the one that I grew up on, and I wouldn't want that to change. By the way, I'm okay with them retooling, rebuilding, and it taking a couple of years to kind of reset
this is the start of that era?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think if this is going to be better than 2021, they got to be in the playoffs. If not, like it's fourth, and then like that's pretty successful for first year of a rebuild. But I don't think it can beat 21 if you don't make October.
Rewind is next here on 101 ESPN. Hey, 101 ESPN has your chance to win a free 4-pack of tickets to this year's Blues and Brews. That's coming up on Friday evening, September the 18th at Anheuser-Busch Brewery. Get fired up for the Blues season at this outdoor street party featuring live music from the Bobby Ford Band and by Matt Jordan. Plus appearances by Blues players, food trucks, on-site, on-stage festivities, and so much more. Tickets are on sale right now for Blues and Brews. It's presented by Michelob Ultra, 101 ESPN, and by Scott Lee Heating Company. Find all the details at 101ESPN.com, and you can have a free shot to score a pair of tickets on the 101 ESPN mobile app as well. If you guys missed anything from today's show, be sure to check it out on the podcast page. That's 101ESPN.com and the free 101 ESPN app, and that is all sponsored by
Schaefer Door Company.
That 101 ESPN app, free to use. It is simple to download, and it is sponsored by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Alex, before we get out of here today, we've spent the majority of the day talking about Joshua Baez, what he was able to accomplish over the weekend, what the Cardinals did by winning 2 out of 3 against the Cubs. Your lasting memory of that series, that game, that performance will be what, Alex?
I mean, it's the historic day that he had, but I think more so than anything, it's just the Cardinals development system continuing to pull people back in. As much as we've learned about Joshua Baez and for what he did in that game, it's just it's building that trust factor and excitement factor of what this rebuild looks like. And you got the payoff for a couple of different guys throughout the season, but when Baez comes up and does something that had never happened in Major League Baseball history, it really starts to pull you into what this Cardinals team can start to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to just be, it will always remember me as a dominant performance. And what I mean by that is, did against Matthew Boyd, guy that will probably start game 2 of a playoff series. That's a very good lefty. And what I mean by dominant is he hit 3 different pitches to 3 different parts of the field, and none of them were cheap home runs. I mean, that first one was a nuclear shot to dead center. So that's how I'm going to remember that first debut of Joshua Baez for a guy that was hyped, that we had been wanting for a couple of months, as he had a 4 home run game down in the minor leagues. I mean, it's just unforgettable what he did over the weekend.
It's a reminder of what raw power can do for a lineup. And this is a team that hasn't had a whole lot of that for a while now, especially from the right side. And for him to be able to provide it, man, was that fun to watch. And then on Sunday, you saw the downside of it, which is the swing and the miss, the strikeouts. Like, that's also going to be part of his game. You give one to take the other because he puts points on the board. And if he's able to do that, and you get, 10, 15 of those over the course of any half of a regular season, that'll allow you to win some games that you otherwise probably shouldn't. And if you're able to do that against left-handed pitching, all the better. Because the team that's been needing that for a while.
Hey, he drove into today.
Sorry.
I can't wait for Baez's first 20-game hot stretch. Whew. Imagine. I mean, well, my reaction when I saw the first 2 home runs before he hit the third, and I was like, whoa, this is historic, was, wow, this could be a guy that if he gets hot could carry an offense for 2 weeks, 3-week stretch.
We mentioned this whenever we were talking about calling him up. Like, he can do for your offense what Nelson Velasquez did, but better. Right, he's a better version of Nelson Velasquez is basically what you're hoping for, and he can play a position in the outfield, which is also nice. But Nelson Velasquez, the last time that you played against the Cubs, you needed that right-handed thumb.
Which it also helps you become a playoff team. I mean, look at the 2-week month stretch where Walker and Burleson and Herrera and Weatherholt went cold. Nobody was able to step up and take advantage of that for you. If you get a couple of guys in your system that can do that, that's how teams become not just playoff teams, but teams that can win their division.
Doubleheader today, 5 games in 4 days against the Cincinnati Reds. It's in the bottom of the 4th inning right now. Cardinals leading this one 2-1. Quinn Matthews has had an eventful day. So far, he's only allowed 2 hits. Unfortunately, one of them was a homer. He's also walked 3 and struck out 5.
And do I see, you've got the box score up, right? See, he had 83 pitches
82.
Already?
Oh, no, 83. 83 pitches. Yep. So 83 pitches.
Thought my vision was bad.
He's going 4 today, I think.
Yeah. So I would
Snell-esque.
I would say you're gonna probably end up with 4 to 5 innings tops.
I would say who's pitching later on tonight?
Andre Pallante.
He's gonna have to go.
Pallante's going to be going 6 or 7 for you.
Yep. You're gonna need it. So it's a big series. Every time that they win a series, the next one gets that much bigger. And and this is a big one at the Great American Small Park. We'll have all the updates for you guys tomorrow. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. If you missed any of it, check it out on the YouTube page, youtube.com/101 ESPN STL. Tomorrow, we will be joined by Derek Gould, as we do each and every week. We'll also be joined by Cardinals Assistant General Manager Rob Cerfolio. He's going to join us tomorrow at noon. He basically oversees the development system. So, yeah, we've got a few questions to ask of him, specifically about Joshua Baez and what it was like for him to see that performance over the weekend. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the Fast Lane there. Next, we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. here on 101 ESPN.